on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone. All alone.
Rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets.
I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone.
Vitamin J, got what you need. Vitamin J, got what you need.
All alone.
Vitamin J. Discussing that heat in the street, hey, we got just what you need on Vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Vitamin G.
I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone. All alone. I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone.
Vitamin J, got what you need. Vitamin J, got
All
what you need.
alone.
Vitamin J. Ay. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Vitamin J. Vitamin J, got what you need.
I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone.
Vitamin J, got what you need. Vitamin J, got what you need.
All alone.
Vitamin J. Final round. I already know how I'm coming, man. Tryna run the town. Tell no duck when they hear that sound. How they gon' come up now? Heavy as the head that'll wear that crown. I'm going pound for pound. And if it's about smoke, then we talk all of that. From an ounce to a pound. Take it, they biting this now. Cause my drip right up the seat. How could they be? Give me a couple of rounds. Cause I'm a beast when I'm on vitamin G. You see this start crumbling now. Mad struck start mumbling now. Get the gist, I ain't reaching for cloud. Plot twist, I'm the one with the keys. Clock blitz, know they look how I freeze. Different continents, I be torn. We living life, making yours look boring. See, we win at the end, it's a spoiler warning. Cause I keep heating up, I might blow the whole planet. They calling me toxic like global warming. But they keep tuning in once again and again. I'm the one at the top, just to form a warning. Truly, I'm De Niro when it come to movies. Get De Niro, entertain the groupies. Habanero if you come pursue me. But I hop on the gang, too busy rolled up whenever my girl getting moody. Link up with the gang, we all go insane. Catching them doors on the duty. I'm in Stixie, I'm locked in. Bought a box, I was like 10. Back then, used to box, nowadays they ain't throwing hands. Mama said we got more advanced. One thing about me, I adapt, bought a Glock fin. Keep me safe from the block in. The game kept me off the block. Ain't got flex about looting my Ruger. I can shit on you with my computer. See my graphics card costs more than your damn job can afford to pay you. And my monitor, big as hell, detail, so I can see when I spray you. To reload the clip and record the clip is go all say to that SSD. Know a whole lot of trill game heads like me wanna see tuned into that VGP. Take over the west and the east, and we got just what you need on vitamin G.
Not really have any creative input. Oops.
Actually, we had extremely calm show last episode. Extremely chill.
Yeah, man, it's great to finally be back with you guys. Sorry, I've kind of been hibernating and playing Final Fantasy 16. But I did want to talk about a couple of other games before we hopefully dive into that a little bit more. I did play one demo that is coming out, a game coming out on the 13th. I was just talking to Zero about it. It's called Gravity Circuit. It is absolutely heavily inspired by the original Mega Man games. And I think this game is wonderful. I think it's going to be maybe $19 to $24. But it basically has all of the shooting mechanics and the defeat the boss, absorb their skills. But they added in some of like the melee combat that Zero has, and it plays so smooth. Often when I see Mega Man clones, there's something missing, whether it's not smooth enough in how it moves or how the puzzles work together. That's not the case with Gravity Circuit. They have the homage to how the presentation kind of plays out. The music is really like get you pumped up. It feels nostalgic yet fresh at the same time. A lot of the skills are not really limited. Well, I'll say this: the demo is nice. To give a shout out to Zero, because they give you all of the skills in the game in the demo, so you could just go crazy, switching out like extra health, extra shield, extra missiles, all that stuff. So you get a feel for what it would be like. And then of course, you're gonna earn them the right way in that game. So that was really fun. Another game I played, a demo that was on Steam, is called Eternites. And this is a action game. It kind of plays like a Souls-like, but the overall story is heavily inspired by Persona 5. And it's basically zombies taking over an entire city. And you are like this lonely guy who was trying to get onto the dating scene, and his best friend was trying to give him pointers on how to pick up girls. So he started to use social media to make a profile, and just when that starts to happen, city shuts down, and he gets these crazy powers. And um, this is made by a guy who was like, this is his first game. He just loves Persona 5, and he always wanted to, I guess, play like a Souls-like game with Persona 5 story. So it actually played pretty solid, considering, and the presentation and how the story was playing out. They're basically like stuck in an underground subway station, and like their friends are getting eaten and mauled by zombies. It actually was fairly entertaining. Like I wasn't sure what I was going to get in terms of like budget. Sometimes you see things you're like, oh my goodness, like this is just not what I was hoping for, but it actually was pretty impressive. So yeah, Eternites, and that was really good. The last demo I finally played it's been out on Switch for forever, but it just came out on Steam, and I think it just came out on Xbox, the demo today, Sea of Stars, which is a Chrono Trigger, I would say Chrono Trigger is the biggest inspiration, turn-based RPG that people have been talking about for the last 3 years. It comes out at the end of August, I believe, August 31st, I think, and it played very, very well. I will be honest, I was a little bit of a hater. I'm not a hater, but like when I finished Chained Echoes, that aesthetic, that like 2D turn-based RPG, I was like, I love Chained Echoes, and I'm so happy with Chained Echoes. And so when I saw the chatter on Sea of Stars, I was like, don't forget Chained Echoes. Like, come on, man, like they need to be at the VGAs. But after finally playing Sea of Stars, the one highlight I really like, and this is a shout out to you, Pharaoh, that all the combat requires button precision presses. So for when you're getting attacked, you need to be able to hit block at the right time. You need to like kind of learn the frames of the enemy attacks, and then for attacking, it's just like Renzo Kukin, from Final Fantasy VIII, or Squall's Gunblade. You need to be able to hit attack at the right time to deal that extra damage, and it gets kind of tight. If you're not blocking some of these enemy attacks, your party might wipe. The characters seem very unique. I think the story is where Sea of Stars needs to prove itself. I think the gameplay is going to be very, very highly praised. So, very, very excited for that. And I guess I'll leave it at that. And obviously 16, but we'll talk about that later.
Oh man, welcome. I'm glad to be back, guys. It has been a lot. I feel like I've missed so much like over this time. Yeah, like submarines have exploded, Usher is breaking up relationships, Nintendo's are putting out directs. Like it has been a wild, wild time. But for me, sorry I've been away so long. I had some travel, so spent some time in New Orleans. That was fun. This past weekend, got back onto my nerd roots and went to BlurredCon up here in Virginia, which was an absolute blast. Kofi, Pharaoh, you guys got to go and take the kids. It's a good kid time. Maybe not all 3
I was
days,
there
but
too.
I hit you up and I was curious. I was wondering if I were going to see you. I did not. I assumed that. So unfortunately, we did not get to meet. But I was like,
That's
he's probably
unfortunate.
here. I just don't know where. But I've been playing obviously Final Fantasy 16, but we'll talk about that later. But mostly also Rogue Legacy 2, which is a
Oh,
sequel
nice.
to Rogue Legacy, which of course is what are they called? Roguelike. Roguelike thing where, the sort of unique mechanic of it all is that instead of sort of death repeating yourself, each new character is like your child, is your heir. And it's a whole bunch of classes. It's a completely revamped game. It's very different from Rogue Legacy 1, and so I'm working through that. Got 2 bosses down out of the 6. I was trying to finish up the 3rd one today, but maybe I'll
Which
finish it up
character is your
tomorrow.
favorite?
Yeah, I don't know. It might be the no, it's the duelist, the gunslinger. Excuse me.
All of them play different and unique, eh?
Yes. Which is a little different from the first one that didn't have as many sort of unique and
Yeah.
varied classes. So it is very interesting to like play a new character. And of course each skill set is randomized, so like each character can get different things. And but it still follows your same sort of roguelike patterns of die and die and die again till you sort of upgrade enough to get where you need to be stronger. So it is an absolute great time. Like I'm having a blast with it. I
Mhm.
have finished Phoenix Wright. Absolutely happy for that because, as we'll talk about later, a new one had been announced or a remake of an old one had been announced. So I'm definitely need to make sure I'm done with that. I will finish Zelda when I finish it. It's one too many games on my plate currently, so I'm just working through all of those. But for the most part, that's it.
Oh yeah, I know my camera's off on purpose. I'm a little sick, so I don't want people to see the ugly me.
Is there a pretty you?
Kind of. There's a decent me. I'm a little
Yeah,
under the
decent.
weather.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
Look at all
yeah.
those cosplay
So
people.
instead of me, it's Monster Hunter Rise gameplay. So yes, it has been a while. I like Zero has said, I have recently participated in BlurCon this past weekend in Crystal City, which is in Arlington, Virginia. BlurCon was fun. Me and my girl, she had me wear the pink Batman shirt with khakis as she was dressed up as
Whoa.
Bulma.
Oh,
So yes, I was
Are
wearing
you
the
in
Batman
any
shirt.
pictures? Are you guys in any pictures that you know of?
Not that I know of. I'm also had my backpack with me with the eyes. So she
one
was
more
trying
question.
to. Yes,
Sorry to interrupt. What was that convention called like 15 years ago? Back in like 2010, I went to that same hotel.
they
I
have
don't
Anime
think it
USA
existed.
there.
Maybe it was Anime USA. Okay, I'm sorry. Keep going.
Yeah, because Anime USA is at the same hotel, and that's in September.
Okay.
Yeah.
Roger.
So, also, as funny as that, as far as the BlurCon, it was a great time. Took a lot of pictures. My sleep schedule's a little bit off because I was definitely in the night party for Friday, Saturday. Raving it up, dancing around, two-stepping. It was fun.
Swag surfing.
Swag. It was a lot of swag. Friday was crazy with the swag surfing. That was a lot of swag surfing on Friday. What else? As far as video game wise, so Steam is still going on with their summer sale right now. So there are actually, believe it or not, Internights is a game I have played recently, like 2 weeks ago when Steam was having their Next Fest, which was a bunch of demos, and I have put that game on my wish list and waiting for that game to come out September 21st.
It's
Really
pretty
good,
legit, right?
It's really
Yeah, it's
good.
actually it's really good. I was shocked about it. I was like, you know what? This is September 21st. I look forward to this game.
Yeah.
And another game from Next Fest that I'm looking forward towards is actually it already came out. I just haven't purchased yet. It's Cyberpunk Oldtimer. It's a top-down shooter that's like a cyberpunk world detective, which I found very interesting. So drop that in my cart. Also, not part of the demo, but it looks like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder Revenge has a DLC coming soon, which they haven't released a release date for it. But yeah, if you have Shredder's Revenge, expect DLC where you get to play as a rabbit with a katana, which I'm not sure what that character is. Which I'm pretty sure a lot of TMT fans will probably kill me for not knowing who that person is. Other than that, also got Harvestella because I was like, farming game RPG, sure, why not? And I have been playing a lot of Monster Hunter Rise expansion pack because I have the DLC for Monster Hunter Rise and I haven't finished it. And I was like, let me finish this because I have a strong feeling that Capcom's going to release another Monster Hunter soon, this year or early next year. Because they did the final update to Monster Hunter Rise in March. So I'm like, yep, another Monster Hunter is probably coming pretty soon. Let me hurry up and finish this. So yeah, that's pretty much everything I've been doing. Minamoto Saki, yeah. Yes, thank you. That is the name of the rabbit.
Dude, a lot. First of all, I'm experiencing internet outfall, so if all of a sudden I'm gone, I'm gonna try to log in via my phone. Other than that, I finally joined PC Waiter Race. I sent my rig on whatchamacallit, Twitter. I don't know anything about PC. I had a person that guided me through it, and I'm very happy with what I got. Feel free to break it down for the people that love PC. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's the biggest thing. And especially we're going to a year where graphics cards are we're now experiencing issue with graphics cards where you need more than at least a minimum of 8 GB of VRAM is now the minimum with some of these newer games. So I mean, but as far as getting a pre-built, there's nothing wrong with it as long. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Okay. That's actually really good.
1,400
you got to convert that to USD.
euro.
Say, and euro convert to USD. That's not bad. Especially seeing what the 4070 is going for right now. I mean, I wish the CPU was slightly
4070 is
newer.
going for 700 something in my area.
Yeah, that's.
So, yeah. And what?
He wants to put a water cooler on your CPU so you can.
Oh, water cooler.
I don't think he's overclocking though, so I think he's fine with.
No.
I mean, okay. Are you?
Yeah. About that, I have a friend that got me with everything protection when it comes to download and stuff like that. So, if push comes to shove, he's gonna guide me to get a water cooler and help me install it and all that stuff.
So you can't hear me. OBS is sorry about that. OBS is fucking over my microphone settings again. You gotta love OBS doing that. Please continue.
What's new? OBS being OBS. I had to stop streaming myself with OBS because every single time I stream, I would get an echo on my Game Player channel.
I can fix that. That's easy to fix.
I mean,
well, either way, welcome to the PC Master Race. First of all,
PC Waiter Race, but continue.
Dude, your PC's better than mine.
Oh really?
Dude,
for me, was never about better. It was about the future. I needed something that set me up for the future.
Yeah, and you got a 4070, which is gonna give you a decent bit of future proofing. You got 32 gigabytes of RAM, which I think I outperform you on RAM actually, because I think I've got more, or at least faster RAM. Your CPU is His CPU is actually somewhat comparable to mine because I've got an i9-9900K.
I mean, the 10 series is interesting, but the thing about it is that we're on a 13 series and we're about to hit the 14 series.
Yeah,
The CPU is a little old, but the biggest thing is the graphics card is like
Yeah.
honestly the best thing about his PC build because that's a 1440p graphics card, and he gets to take advantage of Nvidia's newest technology, which only a very few games uses, but it's nice that you have it.
Yeah.
So yeah, you have your rig is a 1440p rig.
Yeah.
You may do 4K, but 4K will probably be 30 at best.
And he's got a 720p monitor.
I never no, I'm actually using my CX TV as a monitor until I buy an actual monitor, which is gonna be a decent one.
No, here's the thing about having a PC in your bedroom in your bedroom, because I'm assuming you can see your TV from your bed, right?
My PC from my bed or my
your TV. Your TV.
Yeah.
Grab yourself a wireless keyboard and mouse, and like you got an amazing multimedia setup for like just in bed.
I have a wired keyboard and a wireless mouse. I do need a wireless keyboard.
Just get a wireless keyboard and mouse. That would only be because you don't want to have your keyboard or mouse on the bed in case you end up pulling it and it yanks the tower away.
I feel you. My mic is wireless. I do need a wireless keyboard because my keyboard is wired, which is why I hardly ever use it because I need to put it and then remove it and put it in. So it's a hassle. But yeah, no. I never care about 4K and all that stuff. All I care is about being able to run Microsoft games, Xbox games. Like basically, I have a Series X now, or a better version of it. That's basically what I wanted. I wanted to be set. Welcome to everything, and I'm set. And with that being said, I also played the demo for Ethernoid, but back when I played it, I had screen tearing. But that's because what my friend told me that I was using too much. FPS. Well, instead I had to be limited in order to prevent tearing.
Hey, Nappy, how much you want to
games
bet?
and marathon too.
Nappy, how much you want to bet he didn't have VSync on?
He definitely did.
Yeah, he did say that. He did say that. That's the thing. I don't know anything about PC, but he does. But in any case, I played that, which, real talk, I enjoyed the combat. The combat is very interesting, especially with how you need to do certain moves in order to be able to break through enemy's defense. So I like that. I'm interested in the story, but I skipped most of it because I just wanted to see how the combat is. But yeah, no, the voice acting was good. Other than that, I'm stuck with 16, Final Fantasy 16. I beat the game on normal. I'm now doing Final Fantasy mode. And I have a lot to talk about that when we come down to it. Other than that, I got the case of Benedict Fox. I'm gonna play after 16. I also have Chained Echo ready for me. And I also have Soldier, which is a Metroidvania game, indie style. And yeah, I'm excited to see what's next. But that's about it.
It's gonna blow his mind when Final Fantasy 16 comes to PC and he sees how much better it looks.
Yeah, my only advice for you, Omar, is download the GeForce Experience to keep your drivers up to date.
Oh yeah, my friend did that. Like everything PC related, my friend have handled it.
Not only just that, but also get used to a video control panel. Start familiarizing yourself with the menu and some of the settings, so that way you will understand it better. Because there is going to be times where something may not work properly, and you will have to go into your video control panel to fix it.
Yeah. For that,
and your friend may not always be available.
I feel you. It's a good thing to learn. Yeah, I'm gonna start doing so because I have access to 2 desktop. I have no idea you can do that. I'm looking at a desktop one and I can create another desktop. I'm like, okay, cool. So yeah, I went from Windows 9
Vista.
or 8? I forgot which one to Windows
He
11.
said Windows 9.
So
That-
I think 10 I went. So still to 11. So you would see what game are you have in the background, Nappy? I was looking at it the entire
It's Monster
time.
Hunter Rise.
Monster
Oh,
Hunter Rise.
okay.
I've been playing the
Okay.
DLC, so I just
Okay.
recorded myself and playing it.
Okay, gotcha.
Alright,
But yeah,
need to
about
move
me,
on.
that's about it. The only thing I'm thinking of is getting a new SSD later down the road, because 1 terabyte is not enough.
1 terabyte for a boot drive is absolutely enough. Now, if we're talking about if you really want to start building up that PC library, I'd recommend getting yourself a 2 to 3 terabyte SSD hard drive.
Yeah, because I want to play Starfield. I want to play all these games.
Oh, then okay. So if I'm going to recommend anything to you, Omar, if you're going to play games like that, then install it on the M.2. When Steam tells you where you want to install it, your friend will be able to help you out, because I'm sure your friend will fully understand what I'm saying with this, because I'm pretty sure that's him in the chat right now. Install it to your M.2. Buy a 2 terabyte, 3 terabyte, 4 terabyte SSD, and install the rest of your games on there. But games you're playing at the moment, you can move that game file over to the M.2 and then move it back to the SSD when you're done. I would recommend doing that for games that you're playing, because the M.2 will aid with loading as well as texture loading and a lot more things than an current SSD would.
Mm-hmm.
So
also, there's also deals on a 2 terabyte Samsung 980 for like $100 USD. For euros, it'll probably be like 110 or 15 euros, and that is a really good deal. So
yeah, for a 2
you
terabyte,
actually are in
Samsung.
you're actually in luck for a 2 terabyte M.2.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, we need to move on. I need Farrell's intro. Farrell, intro.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Let me
Farrell?
see. Not much. Since we last got together, I've beaten Final Fantasy 16. I'm currently in Final Fantasy mode, and I'm inside the Phoenix Gate right now. Just kind of slow playing it. Just really enjoying the story instead of just trying to beat it the second go around. And I think that's been about it. Mainly, that's what I've been playing.
All right, cool. So as for myself, a lot of things have happened. So a lot of games have been beaten. So I played and completed Resident Evil Umbrella Chronicles. A really good rail shooter for anybody who wants to play a rail shooter. Though I think Darkside Chronicles is the superior game, because they ironed out a lot of the problems. Played and completed Warhammer 40k Bolt Gun in preparation for Space Marine 2. I was pleasantly surprised to find out that it's actually a spin-off. It's a spin-off story from Space Marine 1.
Not a direct sequel?
Not a direct sequel. The direct sequel is Space Marine 2. This is a spin-off because it takes place on the same planet. It's dealing with the aftermath of 1. It references Inquisitor Drogon. It references a lot of things. Hell, one of the taunt lines that the Space Marine puts out is "I will finish what Captain Titus started." So, it is a full on same universe thing. They acknowledge the story, but it's a different protagonist and a different antagonist. So it's like I say, it's more of a spin-off than the direct sequel. That would be Space Marine 2 when that comes out. This one would have made Jube happy if he was actually fucking here. I actually started playing Hi-Fi Rush now as well.
Nice. That's a game I want to also get into.
It's fun. It's just I just find myself more concentrated on trying to keep the keep my attacks on the beat than anything else. So for commentary, it's a complete absolute nightmare for because I'm so used to my music. I'm either singing with the beat, or I'm doing anything, or I'm tapping my foot. Like doing commentary while trying to focus on listening for the beat is a pain in the ass. I also started for my very first playthrough, first time I've ever played it, Jet Set Radio, which has been a lot of fun, though some minor critiques here and there.
Hey, it was on the Xbox, man. Be nice to it.
No, Jet Set Radio was on the Dreamcast.
Well, yeah, Dreamcast. Be nice to it.
No, I can't because there are a number of things that Jet Set Radio does that I look at and I'm like, there were games out before this game that figured it out and you couldn't. So I will not show mercy in my critiques. I will be fair, but I will not. I will be fair, but I will show no mercy. Aside from that, I started and beat Resident Evil 5 on co-op professional with a Swedish meatball, who didn't hold me back as much as I thought he would. I played and completed Super Star Wars and Demon's Crest, which Demon's Crest was so fun. It was so fun. I've also started. If Kofi was actually listening, I think he'd like that I'm playing this game. Code Vein, which has been a lot of fun as well, and actually led me to actually pick up on recommendation the God Eater trilogy.
Wait, so you got one? It's God Eater 1 and 2.
I got God Eater
1, 2, and 3.
I got God Eater Resurrection, God Eater 2, and God Eater 3.
What's that?
An RPG. It's an RPG series.
It's like it's basically Monster Hunter,
Hunter.
an anime version of Monster Hunter.
Okay.
And I've heard good things about it.
I played all three. I played all three and beat all three.
And I also started, and I am now going to be 5 sessions deep this week on Dragon's Dogma.
Nice.
Are you happy, Nappy?
I am happy.
It took you so fucking long enough. God damn, man.
Which character are you playing as?
I started off as a... Oh, who's the one who starts with the daggers and bows?
Rogue, I think.
It's been a long time. Wasn't it like a thief or something? Or
no, it's not a thief. It's
It's an archer, I think.
No, it's not an archer. It's not an archer.
Because you said dagger, because usually our daggers, like the twin daggers. So
A dagger is a thief.
No, it's not.
I'm about to say he's playing as twin daggers because I'm about to say a thief is
rogue. Maybe a rogue.
Yeah, I think he's doing rogue.
Yes. Okay. So the class that I'm playing as is Oh God, I hate you all.
Don't worry, because I started off that's class 2. You realize it's really fast paced, but you got to position yourself correctly with that.
Yeah,
that
I got my ass fucking handed to me very a lot of the time. I have one big problem with that game. Strider. I was playing the Strider. That was the class.
Yeah.
So I maxed the vocation for Strider, maxed the vocation for Ranger. I'm now on to Assassin.
Oh,
nice.
Cool. I highly recommend you play as mage. They OP.
I will at some point. Currently, my pawn is a mage, and she is absolutely fucking brutalizing motherfuckers.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I have one big problem with Dragon's Dogma. So,
It
is the fact that what I do not like about a RPG is, especially like this, because this is an RPG, is when you have like the first 3 to 4 hours, I find it should be the tutorial of the game, like teaching you the world and stuff like that, right? What was really annoying for me is I went to one place that a side quest gave me, a very early side quest, again, in the first 2.5, 3 hours, and I get 2-shotted by some piss-ass bandit.
I'm about to say, you about to get 2-shotted, 3-shotted, and 1-shotted a lot in the beginning of the game. That's just how the game is in general.
But I don't like that about RPGs. No, this was in the morning. These were pissant bandits.
Oh, yeah.
Is it maybe
grind that first part.
Combat? Because so far I remember
Hold on. What was that, Nappy?
I was saying, like, when I played Dragon Dogma, the first part before I opened that bridge, I was just grinding out that small area at night with the bandits. just to level up a little bit before I went out to the real world.
I've not been grinding. I've got to keep things going. Like I'm doing a lot of side quests and stuff now. Like I'm doing better now. Like because I've got better equipment and myself and my pawn have leveled up. Like that's my one critique. My other small critique is mainly to one fucking enemy, and it's the ogres. It does not matter how much I fucking try and mash, I cannot escape the ogre grabbing me before it takes a bite out of me. The Cyclops. Like, it does not matter how fast I mash, I cannot get out of that fucker's grip before he bites me. But, other than that, one thing I will turn around and say I fucking love, is fighting big enemies.
Yeah.
I absolutely
climb up them.
I climb up them. Because my favorite strategy with Cyclops is climb up them, stab the shit out of them, and when they try and grab me, jump up, and as I'm falling, grab again so I land directly on their head. I also figured out something that a couple of veteran Dragon Dogma players never even thought of, and that's to do with port crystals. So, there are a number of escort quests where it tells you, for an example, take this person to the Black Keep. And I said, okay, I'm not dragging someone all the way there because escort quests in this game, quite honestly, and a lot of times, suck. Because the goddamn NPCs are dumb as bricks. And while you're riding a chimera, trying to get the tail off, that motherfucker is right up between that chimera's legs trying to walk towards you. So escorting NPCs is a pain in the ass. So what I did, I just walk my ass. I take the quest, I find it, I mark where they want to go, cancel the quest, go there myself, place a port crystal down, teleport back, take the quest, then teleport to the port crystal, and then immediate completion.
That's cool. Oh, I have one more question. Because on the PC end, on the PC servers?
OBS disconnected for a second.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. OBS is still a pain in the ass. My internet's fixed, but that was either YouTube or OBS because that was a straight disconnection. Yes, I do. No, I didn't. I didn't see anybody called Guts.
They probably took him away because there's at one point somebody left their pawn at the very beginning of the game that was called Guts. He was like level 99. He was so fucking broken.
Oh, dude, I've seen a friend of, when I got into the Rift, I actually found a pawn who was more powerful than that, level 145. He was the pawn of a friend on my wish list. He was the pawn of somebody on my friends list. And I could just get him for free because he's a friend, and the pawns of friends are free.
Did you use that?
No, did I? Fuck. I've come to an understanding with this game. Don't go overpowered with your pawns because you lose out on XP. If anything, when I get a new pawn, I usually get them 2 levels above me. So I'm still getting good XP, but I'm also getting good backup.
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially with pawns, you need to make sure that they are wearing almost like the good armor and equipment before having them.
All right, but that's basically what I've been playing. So I've been playing a smorgasbord of games. Now, let's quickly move on to the first topic. So, could someone message Kofi to get his ass back here, please?
Yeah.
He's probably gonna be out for tonight.
No way! I need to shred him with 16 because damn, this game is bad.
Also, I doubt Jube is going to be showing up. Alright, so I guess the first thing we're going to be talking about is new trailer for... so Jube is not going to be here. Unfortunate. Anyway, the first thing we're going to be talking about is new trailer for the Twisted Metal series dropped today. And I'm not going to front. So, the Twisted Metal... here's the thing. I have seen some people complaining about how this looks as a TV show. I have no problem with... sure you will. Anyway, I have no problem with the fact that they're changing the story from a from basically a tournament of death with cars and bullets and stuff like that to a cross-country story of one dude taking a package for Nev Campbell, who I am guaranteeing Nev Campbell is playing Calypso in this. There is no doubt in my mind that she is playing a female Calypso, because she even says, I can grant your wishes. I have no problem with them changing that, because at least with this, they can over time introduce characters from the game into the show and give them like a whole episode to themselves and build them up as characters. Because if you suddenly started with like 10 whole characters, then most of them are gonna die before you even get a chance to know who the hell they are. Do you know what I mean? So at least at this point, you can involve them all. And it looks like Sweet Tooth is going to be... Well, Kane, sorry. Sweet Tooth is his car. Kane is going to be actually one of the main characters of the show, which honestly is a good choice in my opinion. My biggest complaint looking at this show is it's almost juvenile... like the amount of juvenile comedy. Now, the reason I say that is because anybody who's played the original Twisted Metals all the way to Black knows that the Twisted Metal games had a dark, twisted sense of humor. Like, they were humorous, but they had a certain humor. This just looks like a Marvel show sense of humor, just with Twisted Metal. So, like,
I'm about to say. I mean, the dark sense of humor, can you really get away with that with this generation? I mean, especially with the Twisted Metal type of humor? With live action gory?
Yeah. I'm sorry, yeah, absolutely.
Oh. Yeah, because I guess imagine that's like some gory, really, really fucked up humor that you're talking about.
Dude, again, this is a series where you've got a killer clown, you got a possessed killer clown who murdered his family, and whose daughter then returned from the dead as a killer clown herself. I'm sorry, at that point, if you're doing that, and with a dark god who twists everybody's wish into a monkey paw kind of wish and fucks them over after they've gone through and slaughtered everybody in their way to get that wish. I'm sorry. At this goddamn point, if you are too pussy if you've got such a gushing fucking vagina to not do that, then why the fuck are you making a Twisted Metal series?
Yeah, I'm just curious because I mean, is it considered a horror? Or it's just going to be is it considered action comedy?
The game or this show?
This show.
Oh, this is an action.
I already know what
comedy.
the games are.
Guaranteed.
Yeah, looking at the cast, I would probably lean more towards action and comedy.
Yeah, it literally says in the description right here. Twisted Metal, an hour-and-a-half live-action TV series based on the classic PlayStation video games, is a high-octane action comedy based on the original take by Reet Rees and Paul Wartnick. But it wasn't that.
They go with the action comedy with it and not the, thriller and horror. Because it is dark.
What, the trailer's dark?
No.
No, the game.
Metal.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, the game's dark. This ain't it, Chief.
You're upset now because it's an action comedy?
This reminds me... Oh, go ahead.
No. Again, my issue isn't the fact that it's an action comedy, because again, the original Twisted Metal games have comedy, but it's the difference between... Okay, so it's the difference between slapstick comedy and intelligent comedy. Like, dark comedy and what they're doing in this are two completely polar opposites. Like, the only dark, in my opinion, the only dark joke in this, but it feels tame as hell, is when Kane decapitates a dude, and one of the prisoners there says, "I've never seen someone decapitate and capture head like that." Yeah. That is tame as hell.
Okay, so this is what this reminds me of. And this is a
Well,
Sony
hold on.
MMO.
Go
Okay,
ahead, Omar.
go ahead.
You know, I want you to. I'm saying hold on because I want you to give your entire thoughts. Go. I give my thoughts. You go.
Okay.
5 minutes.
Okay, so if you guys go all the way back in the heyday, there was an upcoming franchise author by the name of Darren Chan. He created a story about vampires, and it's on the level of Harry Potter when it comes to everything. But here is where it fell through. The book is amazing. 13 books. But they did one movie and they turned it from an actual horror with depth to a fucking comedy movie with Dan and Chan. And they killed an entire franchise with just one single film. So I'm not surprised that they're doing the same with Twisted Metal, because that's how it seems. Because it's almost like Sony is too afraid to commit to showcase, like, nah, some of the stuff are hardcore, legit with death and murder and stuff like that. And they shouldn't give just The Last of Us like a pass. They should invest in other IPs that they know that are gonna be gory and death and stuff like that, and allow it to be what it is.
I will give an example to what Omar is saying. I will give a perfect example. Has everybody here seen that trailer where Anthony Mackie is fighting Sweet Tooth in the casino? Oh, Kane in the casino, right?
All right.
There is no way in hell Kane in the original in Twisted Metal series wouldn't have fucking killed him outright. Yeah, he might have played with him, but like the moment when Mackie's face was pressed against that slot machine, yeah, no, Sweet Tooth wouldn't have stopped there. He would have pushed his whole entire head through and crushed it. Kane is a fucking psychopath that murdered his family.
Sweet Tooth, it's basically a more a more gruesome Joker, basically. He is sadistic like a motherfucker. So when you have a character like that and you don't portray it as such, you're gonna alienate your fan base. So then the question is, for who is this series then? It's not for the fan base, because the fan base is gonna be alienated. Unless they pull The Last of Us and do something amazing with it, I don't see this one going the good route. I absolutely feel that this is going to be a flop.
Like, Sweet Tooth is he has a flamboyant personality, but he is still a killer. Like, he is still a sociopath. I'm sorry, Anthony Mackie would not have walked out of there alive. Alright, Ferry, what are your thoughts?
I mean, I didn't think it looked, anything like Twisted Metal we grew up, playing. But at the same time, Sony is just Big Sony is trying to capitalize and make as much money they can off of IPs. And we have to remember that Twisted Metal was more of a cult game. It wasn't this game that was, wildly successful sales-wise. So there's not this large fan base that they feel a need to cater to like they do with Last of Us.
No, even Last of Us.
So they're probably just going with they're probably just going with the strategy of reaching the masses and not necessarily catering to what was a niche fan base on PS1 and PS2 days.
Here's the thing. I'd somewhat agree if it wasn't the fact that that core fan base is going to absolutely rip this game a new one that might deter other people from watching it.
Yep.
I don't know if the two fan bases interact that often. Like,
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah, I mean,
saying.
there's a reason. There's a reason Metacritic and Rotten Tomatoes exists.
Yeah, but that doesn't change the fact that like objectively terrible movies, like the Star Wars movies, still make a shit ton of money, even though the fan base is screaming their heads off about how they hate it.
I don't know,
Like,
Indiana. Yeah, but
that's
that's the thing. But now we're entering a more savvy time. Look at what's happening with Indiana Jones.
Absolutely. But even with that, like, I think Vero has the right point. Like, was anybody really asking for Indiana Jones? That entire generation of people who just don't know who he is. Same with Twisted Metal. It was always kind of so middle of the way. Great game, but even people like I'd like to see it come back. I'm like, do you really? Like the last good Twisted Metal was Twisted Metal Black. Before that, my opinion, the last good Twisted Metal was Twisted Metal 2. So like of their entire history, to me, they've had 2 excellent games.
But
and the rest were
Here's the thing: the reason why I can tell you that people want a new Twisted Metal game is when you look at the response to Destruction All Stars.
Mm-hmm.
Universally, everybody said, "Why are you making this and not Twisted Metal?"
Yeah,
there was another game that people clamored for, and it was like Last Guardian or something like that.
Last Guardian.
That's what I said. The Last Guardian can't turn around and really say that because like people were clamoring for that, but like that was being delayed and delayed and delayed like a motherfucker. Like
I'm just saying when the game finally came out, it sold horribly. So like just because you have like just because you have like this fan base that's vocal, that's saying that we want it, those aren't necessarily the same people that digest the content.
Like to me, this is coming to Peacock TV. Okay, Twisted Metal fans, you're not going to watch it. Peacock TV already has a pretty solid audience with the TV that they have. You can get regular normies to watch it and be interested in it. It's starring Falcon from, or the new Captain America. It's got Will Arnett. It's got a whole bunch of other people. This is a station that people are watching Bel Air on already, which is the Fresh Prince of Bel Air remake, or the various Atlanta Housewives. Or if you're a WWE fan, they have pretty much the entire history of WWE on Peacock. Like, you just might stumble across and watch it and be like, huh, this is kind of funny. Where I am sure there's going to be some guy in the background yelling at, like, Sweet Tooth and never act like this. I'm like, bro, I don't even know who that is. So it does not affect me in the least.
Like, Anthony Mackie is going to be the draw for that show. That's why Sweet Tooth doesn't kill him.
And not so same as Stephanie Beatrice, who a lot of people know and like from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah, people are going to attach themselves to the actors more so than the characters from the video game, because a lot of people that's going to be introduced to that show.
Okay, but then let me throw a hypothetical your way. If this fails, what's the excuse then?
It was bad.
Exactly.
But
you've alienated the
Sony
audience that could have made you.
Sony already got their money. Peacock paid for the rights to make it. Sony didn't fail for Sony.
And like just because it's true to the story doesn't mean it still can't be bad. Like it could just be a bad adaptation. I mean, again, you're missing. There are only 2 good Twisted Metal games,
and you're misrepresenting what I'm saying. You're misrepresenting what I'm saying. I'm not saying that I'm not saying I have a problem with the story. The story actually makes sense to me from a narrative standpoint to be able to introduce these characters. My problem is mainly the approach to the tone of this series.
Well, but if your question is, what if it fails? What's the excuse? There is no excuse. The reasoning is it's bad.
Yeah.
It isn't the tone, or maybe the tone might be wildly inconsistent, but I don't think the tone is going to be the issue as far as staying true to the original. It's just that it's bad. It's just not a good show.
I mean, look at The Witcher 3, season 3 right now.
I'd rather not. I would rather fucking not, and I'd appreciate you never bringing that up again to me.
I'm just saying, believe it or not, people are enjoying it. Especially like one of the biggest complaints was that they made a change to one of the characters just because.
Well, the series is actually doing so bad that they had to promote that Henry Cavill is still a part of the show.
Yes, I'm sorry. So saying that people are enjoying it, that's not true.
It's actually not doing well. I mean, I'm sure the people that are watching it are enjoying it, but as far as like having the success of previous seasons. It's
That's-
not like they had to promote that he was still there for people like to go and watch it.
That is like the audience they have now is like 30% of what they had for season 2, and by that point they'd already lost, I think, like 40%. No, actually no. I would say halfway through season 2, once people realized what was going on, they lost like 40% of their fucking audience halfway through season 2. And right now, this is like, again, it's a litmus test thing, not the fucking words of the Holy Bible, but like audience score, this is sitting at a 24% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Ooh, and this is still with Henry here. Good God,
Yeah.
man, when Liam takes over.
Well, they already know that
I
Henry's
think what we're seeing
disappearing,
is just a boycott because people know that next season is going to be trash. So they're like, I'm not going to waste my time on season 3.
Yep.
Well,
Even
apparently
if
the
it's-
story's ending off with at the beginning of Witcher 1, the video game. So you may not have to watch season 4. You may just start playing the video games to get the rest of the story.
No,
or just
not
read the
really,
books.
because with the way they've been going with season 2 and fucking 3, it's drastically different. And the thing is, they've not helped themselves because the writers have pretty much come out and fucking confirmed they hate the source material.
Yeah, I know. It does. That is very unfortunate, and it I don't know why they changed so much.
Henry Cavill said publicly, as long as they stick with as long as they stay truthful for the source material, I will be here forever. 3 seasons in and he's out because he sees that writing on the fucking wall.
And all of us fans are out, so
yep,
those writers can have fun by themselves.
The Last of Us TV show was respectful to the source material. Yes, it moved a couple of things around and changed some things, but overall, the tone, the feeling, and a lot of the narrative beats were the same.
Yeah, Neil Druckmann did all episodes. He was a co-producer on all episodes. So yeah.
Yes, with the producer of Chernobyl there to pull the fucking reins on him.
Yeah. I'll even say Uncharted gets the feel of the games. It's just it doesn't mesh well together completely. But like I get Tom Holland as Nathan Drake. I get we're action, we're adventure, we're shooting, we're skies, we're doing crowd stuff. A lot of it just doesn't work right for however the acting is or however they mix it together. But it does at least like feel like Uncharted. I understand it.
I think they needed
but I think there's like a
older-
weird distinct difference, right? Between
That to me, the first nail in the coffin for that, and I have nothing against Tom Holland as an actor. I think he's a fantastic actor. Was the fact that they went with a younger Nathan Drake when people have been clamoring for Nathan Fillion to play Nathan Drake for years, considering Nathan Drake was basically created with Nathan Fillion in mind.
yeah, and it's one of the things
They
because
should
I
have went
know
with
it
older
is-
Nathan Drake.
Yeah, and because they want to franchise it, and just like with Indiana Jones, it's like I love Harrison Ford, but my guy, you're 80 years old. You don't need to be doing Indiana Jones anymore. Like you just don't have to do this anymore. They
Well,
don't want Fillion because
the-
they want this for the next 20 years of Uncharted. God forbid it's just
I
one
think they
movie
should
that
have went with
exists on
an
its
old.
own.
It's funny that you say that. I think they should have went with an older Nathan Drake, and I think they should have rebooted Indiana Jones with a young, with a new,
With here's the thing: with Dial of Destiny, they tried. That's the thing with India. They tried. They tried to reboot it. This was supposed to be the launch pad for a whole new fucking series, and it failed.
Failed.
Yeah.
Because this is what happens when you don't respect the established audience. Jube, you've been auspiciously quiet. Go ahead. What are your thoughts on the Twisted Metal trailer?
Yeah, I got to watch it at work today. That writing is bad. It's real bad. I was not a fan. Like this show is. It's a flop. Like I'm not interested in watching. After seeing that trailer, I'm good. It sucks to say that. And like I was listening when you were talking about like how like they're just not. It's just not dark enough. for it to matter.
Yeah.
This didn't need to be Twisted Metal. This could have been anything else.
Mm-hmm.
But it just like the spirit's gone. Like it's not Twisted Metal. It's only Twisted Metal in name and a couple of faces. You feel me?
Like,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say the one thing I'll say that I hate as a gamer is I hate when like shows like this come out and like you see someone watching or you hear somebody talking about it and you want to kind of like brag like it was a video game first.
Yep.
But now, like when it's trash, you're like, oh.
With this, you got to kind of put your hand on your head and just look away.
Like same thing with like Monster Hunter and some of those. Resident Evil
like
movies
I
got really
disowned
bad.
Monster Hunter after the first trailer, bro. I saw the first
Yeah.
trailer and was like,
Yeah.
no way. Ain't no fucking way this movie's gonna be good.
I turned around
when I
and
saw the chick from Resident Evil in it, I knew it was not gonna be good.
Is it?
I did
Because
not
it was her
watch it.
fucking. Because it was her fucking husband that fucking directed it.
Like I like Last of
Paul
Us. I love
WS
telling people that's a video game. Cyberpunk Edge Runners, like that's based on a video game.
Okay.
Witcher, that's based on it's a video game.
Witcher
Check it out.
season 1. But yeah, like that's
Witcher season 1.
But yeah, like to be fair, Jube, because clearly you seem to be on like my side of the fence when it comes to this. Like, but so I want to question you. Like, they're changing of the story, like from a narrative standpoint, because obviously in the original it was basically just Calypso gets all of these guys together to fight. The winner gets a wish. From a narrative standpoint, like to get all of these characters in, that would be fucking nigh impossible to be able to do that. So, like, a road trip thing because Neve Campbell is clearly playing Calypso. It absolutely seems like she is. And if she's not, then, like, what the fuck? Because, like, that's the thing a lot of people also tend to forget is that, Twisted Metal had a supernatural aspect to it in many regards.
It did, because, the sweet does he have the flame in the tree? I can't fucking remember. I don't think so.
Nope, he
that's
does not.
That's a whole fucking thing. Like, that fire never goes out, bruh. Like, and it helps drive him crazy. Like it's a thing.
Yep.
It's a complete character trait that's not even there.
Now
it's wild.
But again, like, so them changing it to something like obviously Anthony Mackie doing this cross country delivery boy thing because supposedly Calypso asked for them to do it, and them encountering all these characters from the games makes more sense from a narrative standpoint, doesn't it?
It does, because I mean, you got to think how many matches in Twisted Metal did you play? Like, you killed off these characters already. Like, why are they like magically back alive in a new arena? Because I changed levels. Like, I always thought that was weird, but I see your point. Like, this was like a logical way to do that without what I just said happening on TV, because absolutely nobody would go.
Yeah, which is why I don't have a problem with that. It's the tone I have a problem with.
Yeah, it's too fun. It's corny funny. Like, it's not dark humor funny. It's not.
It's modern Marvel comedy. It's modern.
It's
Marvel.
weird. It's weird funny. Like all like the homo innuendo. Like when he has him like bent into like the fucking bent and pressed up against the glass. I'm like, bruh, like stop it. But
and clearly in this, it seems like Sweet Tooth might it might be, this one I'll admit might be a bit too early to put my fucking stamp on. But it seems like Sweet Tooth might end up being a fucking an anti-hero of sorts in this.
Yeah, that's what it looks like they're doing.
Which is not what Sweet Tooth is whatsoever.
I wonder, does his car transform into like a clown robot?
Nope, guarantee you it does not. Guarantee you it does not.
I'm gonna be sick. Oh god. Okay, but yeah, I'm not looking forward to it. I will let everybody else suffer through that, and I will take through the weeds.
Oh, Garrett!
Wait, who got Peacock TV to suffer? Because I don't.
I mean, I do, because I have Xfinity cable. Like,
yeah, it comes with a cable thing.
I don't, because I don't think Peacock's available in my country.
Should be.
And I like Bel Air. Cool.
But he just
they do have some decent stuff on there. I'm not gonna cap.
I haven't dropped Peacock. I've been thinking about. I mean, I already dropped like Disney Plus and some other ones. So who knows? Maybe I might pick it up.
I only dropped Netflix. I've kept everything else.
Yeah, I'm assuming that was because of the password sharing thing.
No, it had nothing to do with that. It's strictly the price, bro. I'm not paying $20 to watch on two screens. Sorry, that's dumb.
I would agree with that.
$50, you said?
20. It
20.
was like damn near like $20 after tax
Hey,
for 2 streams.
hey, as it says, like we're gonna end up, you're gonna end up paying just as much, if not more, for cable for all these streaming services than you would for, cable. But yeah,
Yep.
so there's going to be 10 episodes. Like this is going to be a 10 episode series. Like, and it looks like it's only going to be one season anyway. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. How do you have 11 producers?
That sounds like
Jesus,
too many
oh,
cooks. That literally sounds like too many cooks, bro. Like I don't
that's
see.
like-
It's looking bad. It's looking grim.
And one
It's
of them
looking
is
grim out here.
and one of them's Anthony Mackie himself.
No.
But that means he's probably not a producer. He's just in name.
I'm looking at the list of producers. He's on here.
Nah.
No.
His
He has a
ass was-
credit.
his ass
He's
was in
listed
there.
as a credit. I guarantee he's not producing anything.
Probably.
Nah, his ass was in there smirking in the production rooms, bro. That's what he was doing.
Not
Ouch.
producing nothing. Like
He probably doesn't care. He's probably making money, so.
Oh yeah. It's
Oh, yeah,
just...
he at least got 20 mil for that.
No, I don't think you got 20 mil for this. I think you got at least 5. Like it
He's
like
basically an A-list actor now.
we'll have to agree to disagree there. It's in Game Pass. What the Twisted Metal series is in Game Pass?
No, I was saying
Monster Rise, yeah. I just
this is looking more like that clearance bin at Blockbuster, bro. Like I really don't want to watch this show.
I don't want to talk about it anymore. Like I
I'm
don't.
good.
Like anyway, let's move on to the next topic because I want to cry. I want to fucking cry. Like the last time I wanted to cry this hard, I saw the trailer for Resident Evil: Welcome to Raccoon City,
Oh, that was terrible.
and also the Resident Evil Netflix show.
Oh,
Not
God,
even
that
one.
wasn't even Resident Evil. That was something else.
Yeah, the fight against whatchamacallit. I'm like, what am I watching? Anime or Resident Evil?
No, you're watching Blade in the Resident Evil universe. All right. So the next topic we have is the Nintendo Direct. You know what, Zero, you're gonna take the row on this one.
Oh, okay. Well, as everyone sort of know, Nintendo. It was a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, Nintendo had their sort of first direct to figure out, what we are doing for Nintendo, what we can expect from them for like the next year and everything that's coming up. Quite personally, I enjoyed quite a bit of it. Not for nothing being the two. Quite frankly, I think we can really just focus on the two big, or maybe 3 big hitters that'll be here. There's still some things you'll see. Sonic Superstars is coming to Switch, so obviously that's not terribly special or surprising. What is it? Palea, which is sort of a city town builder. There was if you're a Splatoon fan, there's the next Splatfest. But so the first big one also Arkham, what was it? Arkham
Trilogy.
Trilogy?
Batman
Arkham.
Boy,
Arkham?
Arkham Trilogy
that
is kind of
looked rough.
Which, by the what did you say? It looks rough.
That looked rough. I was like, ugh.
Bruh.
Like,
It's on the fucking Switch. How are you
goddamn
surprised?
I'm just like, why would you guys do this? Like,
Wait, is it running natively or is it streaming it?
This
Because
is
it streaming
native, I believe.
it's got to be native, yeah.
Because I'm about to say Kingdom Hearts 3 apparently was streaming. There was like another game that was stream only. So
Resident Evil 7 and
If
8.
if they can put Gotham City's the Arkham series and the Switch natively, that's actually, I ain't gonna lie, that's impressive.
It is. Like, it is very impressive. You want to know the thing that this announcement did to piss me off?
What?
Why is it once again that the Arkham Origin is once again being ignored? No, because
Arkham
I
Origins
think
not a part of it.
no, it isn't. It's Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, Arkham Knight, with all the DLC.
Blame the devs. They ignore Arkham Origins themselves.
Warner Brothers has tried their best to ignore that game for ages now, despite the fact that as time has gone on, people have come to appreciate that Arkham Origin might actually be one of the best fucking Arkham games that was released. Gameplay footage not final. This is native. If that gameplay footage was not final, then this is definitely Switch native.
Yeah, I was like, all right. I guess whoever wants to play Batman, the Arkham trilogy on the Switch, go for it. I wish you the absolute best. But moving on for some of those, Detective Pikachu, The Return. So I've actually never played the first one, but from what I understand, it's quite popular. People love it, popular enough to get a movie that did pretty well. So we're there. Of course, Pokemon isn't done, so there was the Hidden Islands or the Indigo Islands or something like that, which is the new DLC for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet.
Treasure of Area Zero.
Treasure of Area Zero. There you go. Thank you. So I'm sure people will be back into that. I'm sure we'll be getting some new mons. I haven't really played Pokemon since I finished Scarlet and Violet. So no word on like any sort of frame rate adjustments, so that's unfortunate. So I assuming expect more of the same. If you like Mario plus Rabbids, they have DLC coming out, which actually looks great. If you've not played Mario plus Rabbids, please do. It's such an excellent turn-based strategy game. Like, so done surprisingly well from two folks you probably wouldn't assume would make a good strategy game, but it's really, really good. And I know it didn't really do great sales numbers, but maybe on the back end we can get some stuff coming. Of course, probably one of the bigger dogs there was Pikmin 4.
Oh yeah, sorry. I thought you were moving on to the big one, because I was going to say I think one of the surprises of this was somehow through their eternal fucking stubbornness, they're keeping Mario Kart 8 alive with a new course and new characters.
Mario Kart 8 was going to be my next one, and I was going to be like, I keep telling y'all, it will never stop.
It won't die.
And it sucks because Kamek looks awesome. The new stages look awesome. They're putting everything they have into Mario Kart 8. So strap in, guys, because I still think we have 2 more passes, either 2 or 1. So
and it's only one course, by the way.
Yeah, so we're going to be here for a while. There was the Metal Gear Solid collection. My personal big dog. And I am so happy to see it return. I've been saying this since you guys have met me. But the return of Star Ocean Second Story R, my favorite JRPG of all time, probably in the list of my top 5 favorite video games of all time. New updated graphics. Looks like it's more HD 2D. Everyone go buy this game.
So you take that over Mario RPG?
Let us get to that. We'll get to that in a second. I'm just showing Star Ocean footage.
Yeah. To answer your question, yes, I would. It's just a personal favorite of mine. And funny enough, I hated the game the first time I played it because I was bad at it. But the moment I understood how to play it, it is absolutely excellent. It's been impossible to find because I think the last version of it was on the Vita. And so if you don't have a Vita, if you don't have anything else, you can't play it. And that they remastered it and remade it, and I'm hoping this is because of the success of the remake of the first one that came out a few years ago. So it's a day one purchase for me. I apologize I don't have the dates up, but some of these are coming out within the next couple of months before the year is over.
This art style bothers me a little.
That's fair. It's a complete different art style than what it used to be.
No. It's not that. It's the contrast. Because I've got it up on screen I'll screen share it I'll screen share it so you can see my point. If it'll actually let me screen share it. The thing that's just irksome to me, and again, it's just that contrast that I guess in gameplay wouldn't bother me as much. Is fully rendered 3D textured environments, pixelated characters.
Yeah, I'm surprised that bothers you. That's like
Like, I would rather, like, personally, I'd rather have, like, fully rendered 3D pixelated environments with the pixelated characters instead of, like smooth textures. Do you know what I mean?
It's an interesting look, and what I will say, it's a little less colorful than its original sort of presentation. But so I can actually see how it comes off, because it does look, it has this smooth effect to everything.
It's jarring as hell. Like, just
Yeah.
looking at that environment and then looking at the pixel characters is like, for me, in my head, I'm internally screaming, pick one or the other, motherfuckers.
Well, it's the idea of, like, if this were a painting, it's clearly like someone wanted to draw a realistic environment, but then stick a video game character in it. It's like, oh, okay, that's a thing. But because it's not, it is, full of its own thing. But even just watching the stream, like, I see Priestess, I see Claude, I see Noel, like, all of my favorite characters are back. The moves look awesome. It's really a good game and a quite solid story. So the story is excellent. It is kind of a sequel to the first one, but not exactly. It is very much connected to the very first Star Ocean game. So if you play that, you at least recognize some people. But a whole new world, whole new adventure. Please play it. I'm just telling you now, please play it. I will never stop shutting up about it.
Which game?
So
Don't start.
So how do we do it? Let's do it this way. Let's start with the new Mario, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, which, no pun intended, actually looks quite wonderful. It is the first strictly 2D Mario we've gotten in quite some time, not including like Mario 35, which was sort of like this battle royale Mario game. But it looks like beautiful. The art style is amazing, and what it seems to be doing, to me, what I immediately saw when I saw the world and started to see some of the other stuff that Mario could do, I immediately was reminded of Mario Maker, where like they started to do very weird things with the powers and have weird stuff going into them. I can't necessarily tell what the story is going to be about yet, but
I'll let you fucking guess. I'll let you fucking guess. It's a Mario game.
Well, but because these weird flowers are here, they might mess around and like not Bowser, or like he's a part but not the bad guy. As that's what I was like, I don't know. And then apparently, as you see, like now you can sort of flip the world and it looks interesting. There's these like really gorgeous backgrounds, but like the world's not weirdly alive now. Like this pipe is moving, and that's fascinating. And I don't know what the hell these purple ball things are. Here's tall Mario, or ball Mario, and of course, the trailer ends on like the new and upcoming elephant Mario, which quite frankly I have no clue what that is, why that was a decision, what's that going to be. But once again, they seem to manage to be able to take Mario into a new and different direction almost every time they do it. It seems as though, I can't tell, do we think it's 4 players?
I'm going to say yes.
It is 4 players, so it's Mario, Luigi, Peach, and Daisy.
Okay.
And surprisingly, Yoshi.
Good.
And what's funny about the Yoshi part is, I didn't see Toad gameplay.
I saw Toad.
And if they play a Toad, that's great. What I saw about the Yoshi one, which is funny, is that the one player can hop on Yoshi and ride Yoshi, and everyone was asking who's going to be the player that plays as Yoshi and that's going to help Mario get that double jump. Can you just imagine someone using you as a stepping stone?
Like, come on, get up. Now move. Thank you. I appreciate you.
People it's going to just punch the person next to you on the couch for using it as a stepping stone.
And of course,
Mario's a fit
this
boy.
October. And yeah, here we go. Like Elephant Mario. I don't think they showcase what he can do.
You know what that is? That is the result of copious amounts of cocaine.
It has to be. But
Miyamoto's getting old.
Yeah.
Hold up. Why are you guys so surprised? There's literally Cat Mario.
Yeah, but Cat Mario is like,
It's just him in a fucking onesie.
Yeah, and yeah, also yes, it's just Mario and a cat onesie, but also like people love cats. I get that. Where did elephant come from, just as a general concept?
The coked
Like,
out mind of Shigeru Miyamoto.
So like absolutely like Super Mario Wonder looks awesome. It drops this October. I am sure it's going to do numbers. All Marios do numbers. But of course, finally, the big dog that is here is the return of Super Mario RPG. For those who aren't really familiar, Super Mario RPG was a little partnership way back in the 90s.
93.
93, jeez.
93 or
I was
94.
born that year.
So was
I was born that year.
I forgot you guys are young.
Fuck off.
I just turned 30. I'm not young anymore.
I don't want to. I don't feel young either. And that depresses me more than you could ever goddamn imagine. So please continue.
I'm just saying. But Super Mario
91,
RPG was a little
91. This fucking game is older than
Ooh,
me.
91.
No, 96. No, I apologize. 96. 96 in
okay.
Japan. March 9th, 1996 in Japan. May 13th, 1996 in America.
I was 3 years old.
Oh, you literal children.
Congratulations.
You literal children.
Eat shit.
I barely
but-
remember the story of that game.
Yeah, a partnership between Squaresoft, it's not Squaresoft, not Square Enix, Squaresoft and Nintendo to basically take Mario to a JRPG context. And it is JRPG in everything that you expect it to be. It's turn-based battles. And there's weapons, there's different things. So Mario has boots, but I believe he can also pick up hammers. Bowser, if I want a favorite Bowser move is that he can pick up Mario and throw him.
And Bowser is one of the funniest fucking things in Mario RPG.
Yes, he's
I
hilarious.
hope they keep that in. I hope they keep his expression. Yes, they are.
Yeah.
They're keeping his expressions in. I love it.
But most people are probably familiar with this because of Geno, and that Geno is a long-time standing Smash character who people have wanted forever. Geno is basically Pinocchio from the stars. He's a literal star boy who is like there to protect the stars based on the story of what you're supposed to be doing. But people have been asking for Geno ever since the very first Smash Brothers came out. He has been probably one of the top 10 requested fan characters. Like, please put them in the game. He hasn't shown
He's in
up.
Project M.
He's in Project M. Yeah.
With
so if you like Project
Waluigi.
M- But and of course everybody's favorite little talking cloud, Mallow, who's an adorable and fun, who can control the weather with his emotions. He has that. He's sort of like the fun little Red 13 of the group because like he definitely lives with people. He's the only cloud, and he does not at all realize he's adopted and not of these people things. It's like, okay, friend, like that's adorable, Mallow, you literal child. But it absolutely excellent game. They really sort of got everything together right when it came to actually making this. It is a really solid JRPG. It's a really solid JRPG little video game. It's funny. It's got good mechanics. There are hidden bosses. I actually hope, and I won't even spoil it. Oh, no, I'll leave it be. But there is a Final Fantasy boss in Super Mario, who's a hidden boss, who's like their version of Ruby Weapon or whatever hardest boss there is that's in any video game. So to see this come back is like a major shock because for Nintendo fans, this is probably the equivalent of Legend of Dragoon being remade. You know, it's this little thing that for a long time I just always assumed because of licensing rights and everything, you know, Squaresoft had something to do with it. They didn't want to do anything with it. And so Nintendo, you know, can only go so far. So they've had other RPGs like, you know, the Paper Mario story. Yeah. But never specifically Super Mario RPG and Legend of the Seven Stars. That it has come back is massive. That's
the thing that is not necessarily concerning because Square Enix definitely Square Enix has rights over this. Yeah. Square Enix had this is clearly something they needed to like iron out a contract with Square Enix to be able to make because It as you can see right there, the bottom left specifically says copyright Nintendo Square Enix. So I think a lot of the original characters Square Enix owns. So Nintendo couldn't do anything with this game without Square Enix's say so.
I wonder if he owned Gino.
They do. No, guarantee you right now. That's the reason why he's never been in Smash. Because Square Enix owns him. It's like the King. It's like the Yes, it's like, but again, it's the Kingdom Hearts. It's the Kingdom Hearts thing. Like Square owns Sora, but they don't own like
King Mickey.
Yeah, I think they own original characters, not licensed characters. So technically, Gino Mallow would be licensed characters. Also, by the way, one thing you forgot to mention, which is something. Well, actually, it's one of the big things because it's one of the times a lot of people can turn around and say she isn't just there to be captured. Princess Peach is an absolute fucking boss in this game.
Yes, you're right. Absolutely right. Yes.
Like, my God, like
captured is a relative term.
What?
I said captured is a relative term.
Yes, it is. If it's not consensual, but like this is like the game where she bitches out Bowser, and it's like you couldn't do this every other fucking time. It's brilliant. Like the thing is, so I'm seeing it's called Super Mario RPG, but not Super Mario RPG and the Legend of the Seven Stars.
Which is I noticed that too, and I don't know what that is because it's clearly still about the stars.
What if they made it to parts instead of making it a whole game?
Don't you fucking die. Don't you fucking die.
Nah, because that game isn't very long.
I will castrate motherfuckers.
Yeah.
But what if they did do that? Nintendo, that would have been like, what the fuck? I'm pretty sure it was easy to get Square Enix. I'm pretty sure Square Enix would tag along. I mean, Square Enix is kind of hurting for money. So they kind of like, yeah, sure. Even though Final Fantasy 16 so well.
Doesn't matter what Nintendo does. They're gonna buy the game.
Yeah, they're gonna buy it.
Nintendo does no wrong.
I mean,
Zero's gonna buy it.
I'm buying it.
Yeah,
I already got people telling me to buy it so I can do a stream of it. My fucking arms are tied right now.
Like I can't really talk enough about just how good and fun this game is. Like we complain a lot about like where games are and back blah blah blah, but like this, and I think Rabbids, Mario plus Rabbids, sort of inspired like this is a game. Like this is a video game. It is not trying to do anything more. It is not trying to say anything deep. It's not trying to do anything heavy. It is Mario and friends saving the world once again with like really good mechanics and like really good gameplay feel and interesting. Like it's one of the few times that the Mushroom Kingdom, that whole world got explored again. And seeing it in different places and how things are related to each other, as opposed to just like moving from like one block to the next one, a la like Super Mario World or Super Mario 3. So you have all these things. You've got new people who like you've never seen before in a Mario game. I don't know if it's the first time, but it's definitely one of the earliest times you can ever play as Bowser or just get his perspective.
Oh yeah, and then you realize just how. And again, like I mentioned earlier, it's the game that explored. And now that they're remaking it, it seems like Nintendo's leaning into the fact that maybe it's canonical. How much of a fucking goofball Bowser is?
Yes.
After the movie, they already announced that they're working to something with Princess Peach and something else, so it doesn't surprise me now.
I love the sort of evolution of Bowser to being like, he is a very dangerous thing, but like he's kind of a goofball like the whole time. And he's like keeping it together, but just a little. So like, guys, it comes out in November. The fall is going to be absolutely stacked with video games. But if you can find yourself, definitely get Super Mario RPG. I promise you will have a great time. Like I absolutely promise you. And I know that's it, but I would be remiss if we didn't at least mention. I don't know much about it outside of it's just Mario Peach version, but Princess Peach, she's getting her own video game. I think that's pretty cool. I don't think we've ever seen that before from Peach. We've seen her in video games. She's hilarious in the Paper Mario series. She's hilarious in the Super Mario RPG series. But Princess Peach is now getting her own sort of She's probably the
She-
last one
she-
of the sort of original cast to not have one.
No.
She did have a game on the Nintendo DS.
Okay.
She had her own
alright.
original game.
Like,
Okay,
It was like
alright.
what? It was like
Alright.
tear crying. It was one of her main abilities, which was OP for some crazy reason. But I remember
because she
that.
floods the entire fucking screen. Like
Yeah, I remember that.
like God blushes when that bitch fucking cries. Like the 20 days of rain that Noah had to survive ain't shit compared to what Peach does.
Yeah, so the only character that hasn't gotten their own game that everyone's begging for, also begging to be in Smash, is Waluigi.
Waluigi, yes.
Oh wait, no, hold on. Daisy hasn't had her own game.
Oh, Daisy's basically a copy and paste version of Peach.
Yeah,
Just
she's
a brunette
Luigi's
version.
woman. Yeah, but then again, she's
Yeah.
also Luigi's woman.
So, you know.
Well, technically Mario's first. Luigi.
No, Pauline was his first.
Mayor Pauline.
Mayor Pauline.
I remember Mayor Pauline, but I thought Mario saved Daisy first, and then he saved Peach.
No, he saved Pauline first.
I remember Pauline was Pauline first, Daisy second, Peach third.
Yep. Because Daisy was in Super Mario Land.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that.
Or is she the princess in Super Mario 1? Super Mario Bros?
No. In Super Mario Bros. No, I don't believe that was. I'll have to double check. But I thought Daisy's first introduction was Super Mario Land on the Game Boy Advance, which was after Super Mario Brothers.
You are correct. I just looked it up. It's Super Mario Land, which is
Okay.
after. Well, yeah, because it's a Game Boy game.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, I got you. All right then. So yeah.
See, again, a receptacle of absolute goddamn useless information.
So perhaps Mario found Daisy and was like, "I have just the guy for you." Hits my brother.
Hey,
Yeah.
dude, bro. Hey, looking out for his brother. Now, if only you
out for
could
his
give him
brother.
the fucking limelight a bit more.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Luigi, the year of Luigi.
Speaking of his brother, actually, thank fuck Nintendo got their heads out their asses and realized we have two Luigi Mansion games on console. One on a platform we're no longer supporting and no one really gives a shit about anymore. Fuck, we need to do something with Dark Moon. So we're also
right,
getting
Dark
Dark
Moon's
Moon
coming back.
on remaster.
Yep.
Which for me, a person who never played it, is going to be great because now I'm actually going to be able to play it.
And if you haven't played any of the Luigi's Mansions, definitely go.
They're
play
all
it.
amazing. Like, there is not a fucking bad one. There is not.
Especially the reason Nintendo Switch one is actually it's a 2-player co-op, which is pretty cool. You can play as a slime.
Yeah.
And basically, you don't die. Player 2 just doesn't die.
Hey, it sticks true to the video game logic. Player 2 just does not die. Ass Tails. Right, okay, so what I want to quick do before we move on to the next topic, I want to go down the list and ask what game. Actually, I'll say this. There is one game that they could have announced, because again, it's all about remasters and remakes these days, and sometimes we get the remakes and remasters that need it, sometimes we don't. Like Dark Moon needs it because again, it's the only Luigi's Mansion game on a handheld, if you don't count the Switch. And nobody can fucking play that anymore because again, they don't support the 3DS anymore. They don't support the 3DS anymore, and ain't nobody going out buying a fucking 3DS just to play that game. Do you know what I mean? So why not? Super Mario RPG. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I could see them turn around and saying, "Fuck it, if this does well, we'll continue the Mario RPG games." You know what I mean? Like that's a whole new avenue of series they could go down.
Absolutely.
So, but there is one game I feel like they could have done a remake of that I think would have possibly, for me, made this one of the best showcases Nintendo's ever done. Eternal Darkness. Give it me, Nintendo. I need my Eternal Darkness remake.
I've not thought about Eternal Darkness in a long time.
Alright, but I'm going to go down the list. I want the game people are looking forward to from the showcase. Jube.
Just Mario RPG. I haven't played that in I couldn't tell you how many years.
And without this, you wouldn't be able to because a physical copy of Super Mario RPG would cost around $300.
Yeah.
Omar?
Not that I don't got it. Not that I don't got it, but
Shut up.
Between Mario RPG and Star Ocean.
Nappy?
For me, honestly, if they made a remake of Skies of Arcadia, just adding actual voice acting to the characters would have been good enough for me with some updated graphics.
Okay, but what from the showcase that they showed are you looking forward to?
I don't even know. Well, I don't know Switch legally, but Super Mario RPG and looking forward to grabbing that the Sonic All Stars.
Superstars.
Because I Superstars because I'm just I'm a Sonic fan. I'm really curious how this is going to work with 4-player local co-op.
A big giant clusterfuck.
You better run fast. If none of my friends can run fast with me, I'm pulling their controller.
Yeah, I mean, it's either going to be that or it's going to be like if you're off screen long enough, it's death, and you just respawn right behind your team running.
Yay!
All right, Farrell.
Probably have to lean or Super Mario RPG.
I think this is going to be a
Classic.
universal. Zero, be different. We know it's Star Ocean.
Well, obviously it's Star Ocean, but because I said that, if I removed the two, like obviously day one games, Headbangers, which I didn't talk about, but that little weird pigeon battle royale rhythm game, yeah, that's right up my alley. I don't know how it's gonna work, but I'm very interested. I would definitely be playing that the moment it comes out.
All right, cool. All right, next topic we're going to get into, or at least Omar is going to get into, because he wanted to talk about this. But be concise and quick about it, because this last topic is going to take all of our goddamn time, Omar. Final Fantasy 14. So we have...
15, not 14.
16, sorry. We have 2 people on the panel that have played and completed it. Nappy hasn't because he's salty and he's waiting. Don't know about Jubei. And
He's not done.
I'm playing it. I'm not done, but I'm playing.
Then again, for all I know, he's the dude whose picture I saw who strapped the fucking CPU fans to his PlayStation 5. And Zero is he doesn't play anything but Nintendo.
I'm only about 20 hours in.
So me and Nappy are the only people who have not played it because we're both staunch believers of fuck you Square for this bullshit. So okay. Omar, start us off. What are your thoughts on Final Fantasy 16?
So, without spoilers, it does a lot of things good, and it also does a lot of things bad. And here it was where it misses the mark. The bad outweighs the good by a large margin. Here's why. We had a conversation about what's more important, story or gameplay. And this shown that you can have an amazing story, but if the combat is not entertaining, if the combat is not exciting, the combat is gonna feel a slow, a bore fest very quick. And that's what happened with Final Fantasy 16. Basically, there is literally a 4-button combo. That's it. Yes, you can min-max with it, you can mix it together with aerial combat, but your main character doesn't get a single new ability that's not your icon. And that's where the problem lies with, because you are 80% using your icon abilities, and for the rest of the time they are on timer, cooldown. While they're on the timer, you need to do the 4-button combos, and you have your dodge ability, and you have your magic, and there is zero variety in between. The combat is great, but with the lacking of combos, not only that, with also the lacking of what you can do. You only have one weapon. You don't get any new weapon, you don't get any new gameplay mechanic. Yes, some icons give you a certain thing that you can do different, but for the most part, you go in a combat, you spam your icon move, and then you hack your way through. And at first, it's cool, it's entertaining, but later it becomes boring. Beyond boring even, monotonous even, to the point where I don't want to do this anymore. And here is what the baffling decisions. There are so many baffling decisions like why are party members not customizable? Why can't they learn new abilities? Why isn't there combo moves between you and your party members? Why is the dog the only character that you can command, and even his command is lacking beyond belief? Why am I getting accessories to power up my dog when I should prioritize powering up my own moves? Why am I literally getting a ring that I haven't taken off since I've gotten it, that basically make my dodge far more better? Instead, have that an actual ability that I unlock? Like, so many things, and don't get me started on one of the worst side quests in human history. I'm like, at some point, at the close to the end of the game, the side quests actually pick up. They become very interesting. The rewards? No, absolutely not. Zero rewards in it. That makes sense. I did a side quest where I ran and I created a knife for a person, only for him to give me goblin coins. I'm like, goblin coins is a thing I find on the road. Goblin coins is a thing I find in loot chests. That's another issue. Why are most loot chests uninteresting? To the point that because loot chests are so much uninteresting, you're like, okay, I'm gonna skip them. But you can't, because some of these loot chests contain good item and contain stuff for your ability power up, for your icons. So it's all by all, I can go on and on about 16 for the things that it does right, which is the characters, great characters, all of them believable. Voice acting is amazing, whether you're playing Japanese dub or English dub, both of them did their thing. Graphics, some of the best game I've ever played, visual wise. Um, the scales of the battle, the boss fight, chef kiss. But that's also where the game another lack. Because your icon have the same move. 4 button combos. So even when you're doing a boss fight and you're doing some amazing stuff, you're still reliant on the 4 button combos. And speaking of 4 button combos, New Game Plus exists. I'm like, cool. Does it add new enemies?
Three more,
No.
3 minutes, Omar. 3 minutes.
Okay. Does it add new enemies? No, it doesn't. Does it not so far I've seen. Does it add what it does? It put enemies that you already faced in random places. So that's that. But the problem is the new story, new game plus. It is not even that difficult. Which that was the problem with the first run playthrough. The game is mad easy. There is zero challenge. Outside of a few of the end game bosses, zero challenge. Final icon boss fight, yes, was impressive as fuck. Difficult? At times. But here is the thing. There is 2 elixirs. I have yet to use a single one, which is refills your HP all the way through. And not a single boss fight have pushed me through where I used all my potions, which you can buy all the way through, and there is zero challenge again. At the end, with New Game Plus, it's so lackluster that you're like, you, you are Square Enix. Final Fantasy VII Remake New Game Plus exists, where you don't get MP. You need to know how the game works, know how to reserve your MP. Boss fight, bosses get new abilities. How do you drop the ball so far with this game versus Final Fantasy VII Remake? Like, I don't know how Square Enix,
1 minute.
yeah, how Square Enix thought this was a good thing. Okay, so they went the action route, eh? I'm okay for so good so far. Why the fuck didn't they implement the concept when you kill a boss, you take his weapon? Yes, you're taking his ability, but if you took also his weapon, you would have a different gameplay style. Every single time that you took a boss fight, you get a different weapon. Devil May Cry 1 had that concept. How are you that behind the
No, it
eight
didn't.
ball?
No,
Oh,
it didn't.
and one thing, there is zero status effect.
Uh,
Zero. Nothing matters, and that's about it.
Okay, first of all, I'd just like to point out, no, Devil May Cry 1 did not have the ability to take, you did not get weapons off of fallen enemies in Devil May Cry 1. That was Devil May Cry 3 that you did that.
Not fallen enemies. No, I'm talking bosses.
No, you don't get weapons off of bosses in Devil May Cry 1.
Okay, then 3. Okay.
Yeah, it was free, you get it. Because in 1 you get Alistair from the wall, like literally from the wall, when it impales you through the chest. In Ifri, you get when you do a little platforming segment to grab it, as well as the other guns you just find lying around. It's free what you do, because you get the nunchucks from Cerberus, the first boss you fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's free. I can't remember 2, but nobody remembers 2 anyway.
Nobody remembers 2, but 3. Thank you for correcting me. Yeah.
So the thing is with Final Fantasy 16, from what I've seen, because I have not played it, but I have seen a bit of it. The one thing that I know about that game that I look at and baffles me is these cutscenes where you take down, where it's all automated. Where it seems like it's all automated. The enemy takes damage, you take damage. It's just like one big giant cutscene, and then there's QTEs, and it's like that doesn't jive with me with this. All right, so who wants to go next with their points or counterpoints to what Omar said?
I wish Kofi is here, but he's not here.
I don't think
guess I
anyone's gonna
go,
have any counterpoints.
Yeah, I'm not
Okay.
terribly far.
Okay.
But like I don't.
You can go next. You can go next, Zero. You started talking. Go ahead. 10
Oh,
minutes.
so, yeah. I don't brush up against some of the stuff that Omar does, although some of the stuff I do agree with him on, like that there's no status effects. That's an odd choice to make, especially because one of the first enemies you sort of get in contact with is they call it a different name for some reason, I don't know, but it's a Malbro who's like whole thing is special effects. It's like it was like, you know, knowing what this creature is, like I made a point to dodge his bad breath, but I got hit by it and I was like, oh, nothing happens. I was like, oh, well then there was no point to dodge anything. I mean, like, don't lose your health, but you know, that thing's whole thing is putting every status effect that exists in the game on you, and that doesn't do it is a little bit odd. I really like the story so far. I think the sort of idea of the branded and the people who can use magic and how they're treated in that world, and Clive's like perception of how they're treated, it's like fascinating. Like I just did a side quest with this little boy, and like no, the first one was a little girl, and
Yeah.
it was and I was like, wow, this is like kind of interesting because I thought it was one thing. I just knew it was this one thing, and it turned out to be something totally different. And I'm like, wow, okay, that's interesting. And to see how Clive reacts to that is a fascinating little piece of thing. So I think that's really cool. It's Game of Thronesy kind of. It's very European in its setting, and energy, with these big giant battles, and there's a lot of men and taking over countries. Uh, I like. I understand the point about like the big cutscenes with the summons, um, but because they're so grandiose, I don't run into them. They seem to use them very sparingly, so it's not like every other scene you get is giant summon fight. Like they're used very sparingly, so when they happen, it's this big thing that requires little to no button input at all. But it's nice to watch, especially if you got a nice TV to see it. Um, I My concern about the game was, and it did what I was concerned about. It doesn't seem to commit either way to whatever it wants to do.
Mm.
Meaning it's not really, it's an action game, but it doesn't really do a lot of things that are standard for action games now. Omar brought up a very good point. Like there needs to be more moves that you can do. And that I don't understand why each summon you get does not fundamentally affect your fighting style. Even if it's still the 4 combos, like why is it always like slash up, slash right, slash down, or you can use your magic to intersperse in between them. If I'm the wind summon, like perhaps I have twin blades. If I'm the earth summon, perhaps I have a hammer. If I'm the ice summon, so forth and so on. Like you can change. That's the easy way to change that up by effectively making whatever summon you choose is the different weapon, because that's what action games do. Devil May Cry, Bayonettas, all that type of stuff. They do that. And then on the JRPG side, it's just kind of light on anything. Like I think people were saying, God of War has more customization than the new Final Fantasy game.
Oh yeah.
Where like you watch the numbers go up and down. I'm like, that's a little odd. It's an odd decision to make, and it doesn't seem like they wanted to commit either way. And the melding of the two just feels like half steps on both sides. And I really think they needed to find a better way to bring them together, to make that work, because I think it can be done. I mean, Final Fantasy VII Remake seems to be doing it pretty well, so it can be done. I don't know why they decided not to do it.
Do you think if they have the ability to switch between characters, we wouldn't have the issue that we were talking about right now?
Possibly, but like even Noctis had interesting fighting styles, and we couldn't
every
switch
weapon
between
gave him a different
characters there
fighting style.
either. Yeah, so like you don't.
Yeah,
I personally don't like not being able to switch characters, but if you're gonna do it, you got to make your main character multiple characters.
Yeah.
So
Oh shit! So
I don't
hold
know.
on. Are we getting to the point where we're about to turn around and say, from a gameplay standpoint, Final Fantasy 15 is better?
Real talk,
Final Fantasy
it
15's
is
combat is better.
because
Is better,
15 actually have combos with your main characters. Like they can do tag team combos. 16 doesn't.
Okay, right. Zero, please continue.
Interesting.
I paused the timer so you could talk. So
Gotcha.
I could interrupt.
And so like even bringing up the 15 thing, the Sid is awesome. Probably one of the best Sids ever in Final Fantasy's history. But unfortunately, they don't have the same sort of type of camaraderie that Noctis and his crew had, which was always a big selling point for me for 15. Is like these dudes are friends. You can tell they know each other. They've grown up with each other for a long time. So when they become party members, like, and your mileage may vary, but like they're constantly talking to each other, interacting in that way. But 16 doesn't have it that much. And perhaps it's because like some of these people are strangers to each other. Like Sid is new to Clive. So we don't necessarily know, like, maybe they don't always need to talk a lot. But there's some stuff that I think that can just be done better, some sort of quality of life improvements that I think would make it just a bit more interesting. The soundtrack, absolute banger. Omar, I agree. The graphics are fantastic. It is a beautiful looking game.
Does it look like a PlayStation 4 game?
I also
I'm gonna
agree.
say no.
I would say 7 remake looks better.
16 does way more, which is combat, which is visuals when it comes to the boss fight and stuff like that.
I think
Like-
we're also. I think from what I've heard as well, we're also looking at a difference in scale as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
16
yes.
scale is
That's what it is.
insane, and the music
They
they
took-
actually remake new stuff. So Zero got it right. Amazing soundtrack. Every single area you're in, whether it's nostalgia or not.
Yeah, they
Okay.
took the I think the idea of the summons in 15 and really fleshed it out. So again, I'm about 20 hours in. The only last thing I'll say before I end it is it's not difficult, but and I don't really want to come off this. I'm not meaning this like I'm great at video games. It's a skill issue. Arguably, no Final Fantasy is like difficult, right? Like because you have the time to stop and think about what you're doing. So then it just
Strangers
becomes
of Paradise.
understanding strengths and then hitting the button. And that's it. Like I feel like I could take
Not
I
per
feel like I can take
se.
my girlfriend and tell her how everything works.
Let him finish.
And she will be able to go through it easily fine. As opposed to if I said play Street Fighter or play Devil May Cry, she will have a much harder time.
Not per se. If you're talking about Final Fantasy X, don't go far away. The fight against Seymour, the second one and the
No,
third
individual fights.
Notorious.
Individual fights, yes, because Ruby Weapon is incredibly difficult. But
Yeah.
overall, the package, it's not that difficult of a game. Like no Final Fantasy is ever like there are difficult bosses that exist in it, like at points. But overall, the game isn't some like massive hill you have to climb. I wouldn't put a lot of JRPGs as the top most difficult games ever anyway, because again, when you have time to stop. If something's constantly coming at you, it throws you off your game because now you have to evolve in the moment. For all Final Fantasies, you sit and wait and see what happens. And like it's sometimes it's rote memorization about like, I know when he gets to half health, he's going to do this move, so I'll just defend and cure everybody up. He does that move. Okay, I'll make this person do this. I'll make this person do that. When they switch over to action, it gets a little harder. But and that, so this isn't to say that the battle system of 16 can't be reworked and should be better, but I don't know if I agree with the take like it's too easy, just in the sense of I don't consider Final Fantasy games hard games.
I don't know. Four would like to have a word with you.
I mean, again, I hear you.
yes.
I do understand. Like, I'm not, and again, I'm not saying like there aren't hard
Okay.
things to be done here.
Put 15, 16 then aside as a Final Fantasy. What about
and also like just to be that asshole. As far as like difficult RPGs, JRPGs, if you count them, some of the Shin Megami Tensei games would also like to have a word.
Kingdom
You know what? I
Hearts
can give you
have
Shin
a word.
Megami. Yeah, I can give you Shin Megami.
Fuck Shin Megami Tensei 5 and 3.
Listen, the original Final Fantasy VII, wonderful game. It's not terribly difficult.
No.
Guys, like
It's just
just
tedious
not
because you
terribly
gotta just
it's not,
fight all the time.
yeah.
So like you're
But
trying to
hold
get
on,
from point A
but
to point B, and
Yeah, but that tedium, doesn't that mainly come from the style at the time of the invisible fucking enemy encounter?
yeah, that's what I'm saying. That it
modern
was just
games,
tedious because you just kept running into random
Yeah.
enemies trying to get from point A to point B.
Yep, you could say. But to be fair, you could say that about any RPG, JRPG of the time, like fucking Pokemon. God damn, Pokemon! Do we forget the tall grass? The tall grass that tortured
exactly.
all of us.
Yeah. So it just becomes like
That was the best
I really
thing
need
ever.
to heal, and I can't heal, and I know I'm just going to run into a thing every single time.
Yeah.
But like even to your point, Dante, like Shin Megami is difficult. Like so, I will sort of amend my statement and say it's not necessarily JRPGs, even though I still think a lot of them aren't terribly difficult. But Final Fantasy specifically, like that series, when it's in the proper numbered ones, not tactics, not the spin-offs, anything else. just the proper number ones.
Oh, you say that, and I raise you 4.
I hear you. Even if 1 out of the 16, I would then say
I got
like,
one. I
eh.
got one. That's all that goddamn matters.
That's true. I give you one. So, like everybody gets one. But
Everybody gets one.
if you
Everybody
got
gets
the
one.
one, it's like
Tell 'em, Peter.
out of 16, it's like, hey guys, like this isn't like 8. 8 wasn't hard. It's just figuring out like how the weird junction system works.
Yeah.
9 isn't difficult. 12 basically plays itself if you want it to.
13 is just a fucking bore.
Yeah, it's boring. So it's just like, yeah, guys, I know. But that's part of the problem, right? Because since 16 isn't necessarily a one-to-one JRPG, it is like an action game. There are some parts now I'm judging you like an action game. And like for an action game, it's way too easy.
Yeah.
It's no fun, no challenge.
So, is it fair then to judge it like, for example?
Hold on. Save that for later. If we've got anything else to say.
Okay.
I want Jubei's take now. No,
There
in
you
fact,
go,
I want Pharaoh's take.
It is as a story, it's a masterpiece. As a game, it's just not a very good game. The combat, it just doesn't have any depth to it. Like Omar was saying, it's just missing that extra layer of depth. Like, and a lot of spells that are typical in a Final Fantasy, you get to see your enemies use them, but you don't get to use them. Like, like the fire and the fire agas, and same with the blizzards and the cures and stuff like that. When you go into towns, you can't stay at an inn to get your health up. There's like no rest points. Let's see. You can't sprint when you want to sprint. You have to, and then you can't sprint in the cities.
About that.
So it's a lot of little things that's wrong with it. And as far as like the comparison to 15, basically Noctis and Clive fight pretty much the same, especially when you're using the Phoenix's ability with the Phoenix Shift. They fight pretty much the same for the most part, except Noctis, he gets those other weapons that you collect throughout the game, and it allows you to do different things.
A greater range of diversity.
Yeah. But other than that, like it's very like the combat system for 15 and 16 are actually very similar. It's like the story really covers up for a lot of the game's flaws.
Mm-hmm.
The boss fights to me are very lackluster in the sense of it's really just you're fighting the boss to get to a QTE to push the story forward. Whether it's a QTE whether you're in a summon fight or you're just Clive. There's, like, you get these like QTE moments, and it's like, go ahead.
I was going to say, so effectively, it turns from Final Fantasy Light into Azura's Wrath.
I guess so. So like you'll be in the middle of a boss fight, and then like let's say you get like the boss to like 35% health, it triggers a QTE event, and then you'll go through the QTE event, and then you'll get them hurt another 25%, and then it'll trigger another QTE event. Like that's basically what happens. And then the same thing happens with the summon fight. You get to a summon fight, and then you'll do a couple combos, but then once you get the health down to a certain percentage, it'll trigger a QTE event. And then you'll fight some more, and then it triggers another QTE event. So it like you're really just doing enough combos just to trigger the QTE event. And that's pretty much how the boss is gonna die, is via a quick time event. Like you're not actually like really gonna beat that boss. So
that pissed me off.
Yeah, it's just missing the gameplay portion. Like that like it lands the story. Traversal is not very fun because, like I said, there's no sprint button, which really like kills your time when you're trying to get through towns and complete side quests. And then once you go see this character and that character, it just sucks not having the sprint button. And then like they don't let you access the map inside the town. Like there's no town map.
What?
Yeah, for some for
What do you
some
mean by
parts,
that?
there were some parts where I just couldn't access a map.
Oh
Um,
yeah, but only when you.
No, it's not the town. It's not the town. It's when you're in the dungeon. You can't
Yeah,
access the map inside the dungeon.
because you're fighting. That's why. Because
No, even when you're not fighting, you can't access a map
no,
inside the
I'm
dungeon.
talking
Like to see
because
like
you.
where you've been.
I know
That's the
what you're
part
talking
that
about.
not
I
it's
know
not the
what you're
town.
talking
It's the dungeons. There's no maps inside the dungeons, which is like horrible.
Bruh.
Oh, so like you're forever in battle mode.
No, you're not forever in battle mode. You can be walking through the dungeon and like Clive and Jill will be having a conversation. There's no threat of combat, and you can't access a map within the dungeon.
Yeah,
all you can do is use. So like you'll see like 2 directions to go, and if you want to know the right direction you should go, you just ask your dog the right direction, and then you can go the other way. But the dog will always tell you the right direction to go inside the dungeon. So if you want to actually like explore the dungeon where you select alternate route, you can check with the dog first and then choose to go the alternate way. But they don't actually give you a map to let you see like even where you've there's some games where you don't get the full map of the dungeon because you haven't explored the dungeon yet, but you can at least see like where you've been inside the dungeon. Like no, you can't do that on here.
You know, Pharaoh, just look at what I'm screen sharing right now, because I feel like with everything everybody is describing right now, this is what me and Nappy are feeling right now.
Give me a second. Let me watch.
This is what me and Nappy are feeling right now, because we were willing to wait a year for this game, but after everything you guys are saying, this is what we're feeling right now.
Emotional damage. What do you mean with that?
Hold on.
Emotional damage.
Okay, but what do you mean by that?
Like we were willing to wait a year to get this game, but like now, like after hearing what you're saying and everything, it feels like I might as well just watch the fucking cutscenes on YouTube, because the game doesn't seem like it's worth it. Especially when it comes
is worth it. The story
is
is worth it, but the gameplay mechanics are sorely lacking.
And that's why I'm saying I might as well just watch the cutscenes on YouTube to get the story.
Real talk, look, I don't advocate for it, but with it, look, I'm on two minds of this. I will take it when we talk after Jubei, because it's very interesting conversation to be have.
All right,
and there's gonna be a DLC. There's gonna be a DLC because there's a lost icon. There's a lost icon, so you can kind of tell that they're gonna do a DLC where you get access to that lost icon.
Yeah, I think they're gonna do a DLC, and I think maybe they're gonna revamp the combat then.
I don't think the combat gets revamped.
No
That's a whole lot of budget.
You know what that is? You know what that is? That's budget and time. That's effectively what Cyberpunk 2077 has done.
Okay, so
I mean, they did it with 15, so they added some mechanics, or not added.
They added party members, but like they didn't like do like a whole revamp of like you being able to control your party members, but they didn't like do like a whole revamp of the combat.
Also, Pharaoh, is it fair to say that when the icons do the move, they are spectacular, but when you get the move, you get a fraction of it?
Yeah, the QTEs are very grand.
Not QTE. Just when you're fighting an above fight, an icon, and you're fighting him in his human form. He's doing moves you can't even do when you get yourself.
You only get 2 moves. You only get you only get the defense move that he like kind of explodes after you hold it, and while you hold it, you're like invincible, and then once you let off an explosion, and then you have like another real powerful attack. You only get those 2 for your icon, so it's not like you get like 4 or 5 moves.
But he's doing 10 moves, right? In the boss.
Yeah, you don't even get to use Hellfire. You don't even get Hellfire.
Yeah,
as Ifrit.
And when you're fighting, when you're getting awakening, your character is doing super sick moves. You're like,
the limit break is trash. The limit break is trash. Basically, like the limit
Yeah,
break,
it
your
is.
character
It
sets on
is.
your character sets on fire and does like 10% more damage
No, I'm not talking about
like
limit break itself. I'm
until the
talking
bar
about
runs out.
when you're about to get it, when you're fighting the boss fight. I don't want to spoil
Yeah.
it for others. He's doing cool moves. You think you're gonna get them, but you don't. You get the
No, you don't. You
fraction
don't.
of
That's
them.
why it's QTE driven. It's QTE driven, so they don't have to do the animations
It's
for the actual combat.
it's baffling. Again, I
Mhm.
said it. Devil May Cry 3 had better combat than this. And here's the kicker. No. Dante, here is the fucking kicker. One of the developers that worked at Devil May Cry called this his magnum opus.
Dude, no, I'm laughing at the fact that it genuinely sounds like you're on the verge of tears right now.
It's painful
So,
to see
like,
where
they
Final Fantasy is now.
So I think I posted on Twitter after I beat it. I said, I love the game, but like from now on, just keep platinum games out of my Final Fantasy, because like that combat it's very bare bones.
I don't know. Wait, what do you
the
mean?
combat is bare bones. Traversal is trash.
Wait, hold on.
Nier
Wait,
Automata
how
have better combat.
Platinum games help them with the combat.
Are you fucking sick? They
Yeah,
must not have
Platinum
listened,
game.
because here's the thing. I will turn around and say this. As much as I will absolutely take a steaming ass dump on Bayonetta 3, I will not take away from the fact that the combat is really goddamn solid and diversible in that goddamn game. How do you take
So
Platinum
it's a
games?
combination of platinum games and the Final Fantasy 14 people did the combat. It's a combination of both of them.
No, there is no. There is also the lead designer. I think lead designer or combat designer at Devil May Cry. He is the one responsible for this.
Just
You
like,
wanna go at someone? You go at him. He's the one responsible.
Again, I just find it so mind-boggling that Platinum Games had any input on this, because again, like everybody here can attest that I've not been very kind to Platinum Games for a while, since Bayonetta 3, but they've always had spectacular fucking combat in their games. Like, Vanquished was fucking spectacular. Metal Gear Rising Revengeance was spectacular. Fucking Nier Automata was spectacular.
Nier Replicant spectacular.
That wasn't Platinum Games.
Okay.
That was just a remake. Literally.
And they never had anything to do with the original either.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just
wow.
It's a really good story, really strong characters, a really fleshed out world, but it's missing a lot of essential gameplay mechanics.
Yeah, the meat, which is what we're doing 90% of the time.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's like the opposite when we talk about, like, because everybody had, like, you got to defend 15. Like, well, there was some stuff, but like overall the package is like, we're like 16. It's really clear that they're nailing some things, like absolutely chef's kiss, nailing it.
Yeah.
And then there are things you're like, what happened? How do you have anybody from Platinum Games and your combat is this? Why didn't you commit to it?
Because Kingdom Hearts developers worked on that. Platinum Games developer worked on that. You have the lead combat designer of Devil fucking May Cry.
Which one,
this is what you get? And this is what you're giving us? It's a crime to call this game an action game.
Yeah, and it's frustrating because, like, when you want to point out some of the, like, actually, and this isn't really a knock on the game, but probably my favorite new feature that they have is, I guess, the active lore system, where at any time in the game, if you hit start, you could pull up a menu, and like whoever you're talking to or what the conversation is relevant at the time, you'll get little prompts about, here's what this is that we're talking about. Here's this person who you're talking to. I have a bad habit of, like, sometimes ignoring what people are saying. Like, I don't care. I want to move on to the next thing. And then they'll say something like, wait, when did that happen? But if I hit the button, I'm like, oh, that's where this from, or that's where this kingdom is, or that's what this person does. And I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. And I can get right back into the game. I would love for almost every game that has a heavy story to do that from here on out. Like,
Okay,
give me an opportunity to refresh.
Jubet, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Right, I need your thoughts now. 10 minutes go.
I am definitely not very far. I'm about 12 hours in.
Okay.
Right, the story's cool, but my issue is with the combat, like everybody else. It's pretty glaring. It just gameplay wise, like I already hate them. Like traversal sucks, no sprint sucks, and combat has already gotten boring for me, and I haven't even really unlocked shit yet. But, like I'm already just tired of just happening buttons. I'm gonna finish it out for the story though. Like I appreciate that, but then
That's what I did.
15 gameplay wise shits on this game. I'm sorry, it just does. Story wise, this game got it. 15 got the gameplay. It's like almost like a Halo 4, Halo 5 issue.
Ready to go?
like one game has a great story, the other game has better mechanics. So yeah, that's where I'm at with it.
All right.
Well,
Okay,
it's
now
like I ain't mentioned that on much.
what did you
Well,
say?
I mean, the story is so good, they're doing a stage play. So, I mean, if you don't buy the game, you can go to the stage play.
Or I can watch it on YouTube.
Yeah.
So I guess this is no longer your interest. You're not interested in buying anymore, then, Nappy.
Maybe I'll get it on sale. I mean, right now,
This
I
is
mean,
this is a
I
state
mean-
of Final Fantasy. They did this to themselves.
There is naturally a drop in sales with these type of games, but the fact that like there was like a 90% drop, I think kind of shows that like the people who were on the fence of deciding to purchase it are just, they weren't feeling it.
No, apparently,
No.
apparently the 90% drop is normal. It's recurring with every single installment. This is not it.
I wouldn't say it may be normal for Final Fantasy, but I wouldn't say it's a standard across the board. Like we saw like Elden Ring had momentum for like weeks. So I think it just depends on the reception of the game.
In fairness, Elden Ring was also across 3 fucking platforms.
The people
Yeah,
that
but-
want to buy it bought it, and the people
Yes, I'm saying the people that
were
wanted to
on
buy
the
it already bought it, and the people that were on the fence, they didn't see enough to,
Yeah, but guess what? This game alienated a lot of their fan base. A lot
Yeah.
of them just didn't buy it.
That's basically what I was saying. Like, I know a drop is normal, but it being like 90%, kind of tells me that the people who were, who got their pre-orders in, who get pretty much every mainline Final Fantasy, they got their mainline Final Fantasy, and the people that are on the fence just haven't really bought into it at this point.
This
Alright,
is
well,
the state of
the
Final
nappies.
Fantasy. I really wish Kofi was here because he is enjoying it, and I just wanted to ask him how, in what
Oh, it's
universe.
enjoyable because the story is so like I'm not gonna act like the game isn't
story
enjoyable
is
because the story
fantastic.
really
I never
carries
said
it.
otherwise. It's the combat though. If you're
Yeah.
doing 80% combat and the combat is a slog, like Juve said it, Pharaoh said it, you said it, and Zero said it, and I said it.
You just
And-
addressed
Especially when you're
Pharaoh
trying to
twice.
master the
You
icon
said it
abilities.
I'm sorry,
I-
hold up. You
Yeah,
just
I did.
addressed
I corrected
Pharaoh twice.
myself. I corrected myself. That's
You
why when
said
I
it. Pharaoh said it. Wait, what?
Yeah,
There's two
I just
people.
said
Pharaoh,
you
you're
said
two
it.
people.
Yeah,
Hey, today I am, I guess, But yeah, like I'm
You
trying to
have to
master
remember
all
you used to
icon
be.
abilities. So like I'm like hunting, I'm like killing everything on the damn map. The one thing I do appreciate with the game though is that once you clear the map of enemies, they're gone. Like they don't
Unless-
respawn.
unless you
I do like that.
teleport and then
Yeah.
they're back.
Yeah.
With this, look, it's very easy to document name, but I'm genuinely curious if this could have been prevented. If you could do, and it's like add the ability to switch between party members do that. Give your party members customables. Have them learn new skills. This like why I don't get it. I don't get it. I really don't.
It feels semi incomplete as far as with the gameplay mechanics.
Wait, you mean
Yeah,
like
it
Final
feels
Fantasy
like
15?
It feels like get it out the door. Like the exec said, we need this game out the door. Like it's good enough.
Apparently,
That's
this, when you I don't know. Dante, can you please look up for us, for the viewers, who worked on it from the Devil May Cry team? Because apparently he's a famous person and he was very happy with it. Called it his magnum opus or something like that.
Give me a minute.
Oh, the reason I go back to this key point is because Devil May Cry is known for being very fleshed out combat-wise, gameplay-wise. Heck, I might be controversial with what I'm about to say. Give me Devil May Cry 1, and I'm talking about from Ninja Theory over Final Fantasy 16. At least that game had enemies that had weaknesses and strengths. This game has none of that.
That's another thing
Hold
that's
up, hold
wrong
up,
with the
hold up.
game.
You said DMC, bro?
Yeah,
The remake? Woo!
Give me
All right, so
Yeah, bro.
another huge problem
He's-
with Final
he's
Fantasy
not-
16.
He's not wrong though.
Is-
I'm
he's
definitely
not.
not saying he's wrong. It's facts, and it's just crazy because a lot of people did not
No
like it.
fucking way.
What?
The guy who worked on it was Ryota Suzaki.
Okay, who
I don't
is
believe
it?
it.
Design.
I don't
He is
believe that.
He is the. Yeah. No. Ryota Suzuki. He is the fucking designer of Devil May Cry 5 and Dragon's Dogma.
No,
Fucking
No.
I don't-
This is
no,
what I'm
no. I
saying.
know that name. That's why I say I don't believe it. I don't
So-
believe it.
Another-
This shouldn't be a
The-
case.
So
It's
another
one of
big
the
issue with the
developers,
combat
not the
is
main
not
one.
even Clive and like your control of him. It's the enemies. They all do the same moves.
Yeah, they do. Most of them do, and also
Yeah, so, like,
they don't have weaknesses. They don't have strength. They also
Like, even-
stagger or don't stagger. But
Even from
what
like a
was he-
regular enemy to a boss enemy, they do the exact same move. They have the exact same animations. A lot of these bosses.
What
It's really
was
that's
he-
another thing that's really bad.
Like, what was his actual like? Because here's the thing: like, designer could be anything. Like when I hear designer, I think like he designed not the combat. He designed like the environments and the scale and stuff like that. Like I need to know like what he was the design. If he like, I need to know like his actual job description. Because if that's the case, like if he designed like levels and environments and stuff like that, then it's fair to turn around and say that this would be his personal masterpiece. Because like you guys have turned around and kept saying that on a scale size, this game is actually really fucking beautiful.
yeah, it is. It is visuals. It is.
Yeah, well,
you go
it's
to
well
a lot
done.
of different areas, a lot of settings. It's just the combat. We go back over back to the this game proves that you can have an amazing story, but if your combat is dog shit, your game gonna suffer because of it. But
Yeah,
if
it's crazy that all the enemies do all the same moves. Like
and
my body type.
enemies not having weaknesses, and the fact that there is zero status effect. No, there is status effect, but only for the enemies. And you only get one
I
status
don't see
effect.
no damn status effect other
No, there is.
than Shiva freezing you.
No, there is freeze, there is protect, and I think shell. Or not, either shell or protect. But
So
that's
this-
about it.
Yeah, this dude's worked on a lot of fucking games. Like he's worked on. So this guy who we're talking about, like, so he was the planner on Project Justice Capcom versus SNK 2 Mark of the Millennium and Hyper Street Fighter 2 the Anniversary Edition. He was the director of Vampire Darkstalkers Collection, the field battle planners for Onimusha Dawn of Dreams. He was planning for the Devil May Cry 4 Windows version. He was the instructional manual creation for Bionic Commando. Special thanks for Ace Attorney's investigations. He was the fine-tuning staff on Mortal Kombat on Super Street Fighter 4. Effects designer on Marvel vs. Capcom 3 Fate of Two Worlds. He got special thanks on Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. Effects designer on Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. He was the gameplay player lead for Dragon's Dogma. He got special thanks on Devil May Cry. Yeah, so the only Devil... Yeah, so he got special thanks on DMC Devil May Cry, Virgil's Downfall, and Definitive Edition. He was the game design lead for Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen. He was one of the programmers for Monster Hunter World. He was one of the designers for Devil May Cry 5. And he was one of the programmers for Iceborne for Monster Hunter World. So, by looks of it, he doesn't work in combat. He works in design.
You said programmers, though. When you say programming...
Code.
I thought that was like...
That's probably code.
But combat is coding.
Yeah,
yes, but usually... yes, but the thing is like, most of the time, like, unless it's specifically stated you worked in that, you're basically working as a general coder. So unless it turns around and says, where was it actually? It was right here. Where was it? Wait, what did you say that he did? That brought your attention? Because
when you say programming, I mean, because it's like programming could be like simply it's just program character walk. I mean, he could. He was only part of the programmers of Monster Hunter World. Well, I'm saying, like, it's when you say programming, that's like a very, very broad statement.
Yeah, and what I'm saying,
because everything causes programming, like from combat to just simply walk into interactions.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Unless it specifically points out, but he's not been a programmer on anything else. Like, he's been a planner, he's been a director, he's been given special thanks. He was fine-tuning staff. He's been a designer on most of the game, on a lot of the games, but he's only been a programmer on 2 of the games, and that on one of the games and the expansion, and that was Monster Hunter World.
Well, that combat is very different from Devil May Cry.
Yeah, he was not a programmer on Devil May Cry. He was one of the designers on Devil May Cry.
And
man can't pro.
Like, yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Like, it's not great. Like, I at least for me, like, I don't want to bring it off as like, oh, this is like the worst fighting mechanics we've played. It's just like you can tell what it wants to be. It just doesn't get there.
Yeah, by the way, so Omar, you said that if he didn't work on the combat, you owed him an apology. I literally looked up what designers are. A video game designer imagines almost everything about the game, including its plots, characters, visual design, and layouts. Designers meet with different teams to create a cohesive vision. So,
okay. So basically everything I gave him prop for without giving him prop for. So I apologize. I'm not to do so. So yeah, it is that his maximum but characters and setting and everything we all love. It's just the combat.
Yeah.
And the question is then, who is to blame? I'm pretty sure it's Yoshi P, because he is the one that at the very end high on the top. And and clearly you should never have a person that is focused on MMO to do a triple
No,
A game.
apparently he was the battle director.
What?
This man's title is so fucking confusing.
Roy
'cause
singing Ryota Suzuki has apparently as Huh?
That's him. Yeah, that's the
Wait,
designer.
wait. He's a designer, but is he the lead combat director for this as well?
Battle director. Yeah, like this dude's title is just confusing the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Wait, because if he's a lead battle director, that means that he directed all the fights and everything, so he knows how the combat is.
Then why the fuck call it make him open when it's so dog shit?
I mean, so if he's a lead director, he probably is the one that like watched over all this, so he knew exactly what the combat was going to be like.
And he thought this, and he thought nailed it. Despite the fact that it's lacking what Devil May Cry 3 did, nailed it.
I'm not gonna outright call the combat horrible, but it lacks a lot of depth. Like the groundwork for it isn't necessarily bad, but it lacks a lot of depth, and the fact that like QTE carries you through the boss fights is pretty bad. And the fact that like these enemies all have the same move sets. Like even when you're fighting these like bosses, like not the top bosses, but when you're like fighting bosses on the way to the main boss of a dungeon, they have the same move sets as like regular enemies that you'll see out in the wild.
When you
multiple director, there's multiple articles saying that Ryo Tsuki was
the combat director.
Yeah, he was a combat director. All the articles are saying he was one that was leading combat. So yeah, this is he looked over this. So this is what he came out with.
And again, can you check if they had Platinum like who they had from Platinum Games on this? Because like I said, given what Platinum Games has done with their games, like I cannot believe like the only scenario that makes sense to me is that they took what Platinum Games said, simplified it like a motherfucker, and then threw it all away and said, "Nah, we'll do it ourselves." Or they asked Platinum Games, "Can you come up with the most brain dead simple shit for us?"
I mean, it's missing all the Final Fantasy stuff. Like as far as like like the spells and all, like it's missing all of that. Like
I mean,
not even stuff that you need from outsourced stuff. Like just like the basic elements has been
Final Fantasy 16. I don't believe has flopped.
You have a dragoon, but you never get to become a dragoon yourself. You fight a dragoon, but that's about it. There you go. A dragoon exists.
Hold on. Nappy, you seem to have found something.
They don't really tell exactly who from Platinum Games it was that helped out yet. It's just funny because the first thing I clicked on was led me to a Reddit thread where everybody was excited that Platinum Games was a part of Final Fantasy 16, saying that this game's going to be awesome, and then just listen to this conversation. It's like, oh.
Yeah, I just said keep Platinum Games out my Final Fantasy after this.
No, this isn't. But I'm just saying, like, I wouldn't put the blame on Platinum Games. I mean,
I'm not putting the blame on anyone. Sometimes when you have like too many cooks in the kitchen, nothing gets made.
I'm putting blame on Yoshi. He is the one that directed this.
He was the lead. So.
I'm not blaming them in the sense of saying like Platinum Games can't do good combat. I'm saying, stop having so many people come in to, do your combat.
I mean, make a decision.
Hold on. I'm looking at this. Who the fuck? There was two directors of this game.
Yeah, there was two directors, but
Harihoshi Takai and Kazutoya Mohiro. Like Yoshi Nike. Sorry, how do you say that? Yeah, Yoshi P wasn't the director; he was the producer. Yeah, he was not the director of this. He was the producer.
So you just produced this combat style?
He just produced this combat
style.
I
don't know.
I mean, you can roll this different ways. It just doesn't sound good on his name.
No, it doesn't. Especially after the motherfucker revived Final Fantasy 14 into the powerhouse that it is now.
This is why. I mean, just the side quests are terrible.
Right, we need to move past this. All right, we need to move past this because we need to go to other bloated things. All right. Speaking.
Oh, we got some names now. Astral Chain director and a Nier Automata key member, Takia Tura, had the lead small platinum team workers on the Final Fantasy 16 project. So you had the person who made Astral Chain, the lead platinum game battle system for Nier Automata and Astral Chain, and he led a small team.
Because I saw the gameplay.
Wait, Tora as in like weird ass mask, smiley face, mask weirdo fucking Tora? He worked on this?
There's no way. That can't be. Yeah.
No, I do not believe this. I cannot believe this.
No, that's
And again, I think that's what like me and Ferrer were trying to say. Like, it's hard to describe without sort of playing or at least like
we
like,
get what you're saying. We're just the shock that me and Nappy are having is the fact that like
no, it's not the weird. It's not the weird mask. He doesn't. He's not the. Oh, no, he is not the mask guy. Wait, no, he's not. He's not the mask guy.
He worked with him, but with Yoko Taro.
Yeah, he's not the mask guy, but he did work. He worked right alongside with him for the combat. So yeah, the fact that he actually was like one of the main people for the combat for Nier Automata. And Astral Chain was actually pretty good.
Dude, Astral Chain was fucking great as far as combat goes.
I heard about it, but I played Nier Automata. Combat is amazing.
No, it is, and so's Astral Chains. Like both of them are really fucking good, which is why it is boggling my mind that, like, I mean, if I was making a Final Fantasy game, I wanted to have good, smooth fucking combat. I would have just Platinum Games working on it and just give them direction of, listen, you can make it as flashy as possible, you can make it as kinetic as possible. We just need these elements in. Because I
said him in a small team, so it's like he only did portions of the combat. He didn't do all of it.
Yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I would have had them heading the combat team. I wouldn't have had them, I wouldn't have had separate teams. I would have had the guys from Platinum Games heading the team. Is my point. This boggles my mind. And before we go down this rabbit hole anymore, we need to move on to the next one, guys. Because this is going to be another rabbit hole that I want to get through quickly. All right, understand that, guys? Quickly. All right, and that is PlayStation's budgets have now been the budgets for their recent two games have actually been shown. So yes, PlayStation games cost as much as movie blockbusters to make exposed budget shows. Sony's 2022 PlayStation 4 and 5 blockbusters Horizon Forbidden West cost $212 million to develop over the 5-year period, and its 2002 hit The Last of Us Part 2 cost over $220 million to make. We're not going to go into like the details of it because this basically just goes severely into the fucking court case that I have really no interest in talking about, quite frankly, because I just don't fucking want to talk about it. But like that is a big thing to come out. I'm very surprised we did not get like the numbers for God of War Ragnarok. Because like
I'm not. That's gonna be on the same level.
Yeah, and that is fucking ridiculous. Like that is fucking ridiculous. Now, let me get my point out. See, for me, when I look at these numbers, I look at these numbers and I think to myself, this does not seem out of the ordinary. Because the reason why I turn around and say this, like, yeah, yes, 200 million is a fucking ridiculous amount. Like, you'd think that. But I don't think they're the only ones. They're the only ones that we know of. Like, we only know of these because of the ongoing bullshit that's going on behind the scene, like, in court, right? But I guarantee you, we looked at the books of, like, Activision and stuff like, of Activision and some of these other companies, like, fuck Final Fantasy 15 for it, Final Fantasy 16 for example, they've got comparable goddamn budgets at this point. And the reason, especially at EA and Take-Two, like we know, like you cannot turn around and tell me that Red Dead Redemption 2 did not cost them $200 million or close to. Right? So for me, this is a non-Sony news, a more of a general industry news thing, because this is just solid proof that budgets for video games have gotten to ridiculous degrees. Like, there's a reason why all of these fucking games are subsidizing with microtransactions, with battle passes, and now are costing console gamers $70 fucking dollars. Alright? There's a fucking reason it's happening. It's because fucking budgets are ballooning like this. And this right here is why game companies need to wrangle their shit in a really fucking severe way. Yes, okay. However, sources estimate the true cost. Yeah, so apparently sources indicate that the true cost of Red Dead Redemption 2 was $300 million.
And these are just development costs. These don't factor in the marketing budgets.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is why I'm with you, Dante. Why is this even new?
No. It's news. It's not news centered. See, this is. See, you're being defensive here because that's not what I said. I said this is not a PlayStation centric news. Like, the title is that their budget was exposed. That is a fact. But the actual topic is the broader, larger reaching implications of, we know that these numbers exist for Sony, but we also know that these budgets exist for so many fucking other companies. Like, for example, like I said, Red Dead Redemption 2 cost between 170 to fucking 300 million. Because again, sources claim that it cost 300 million. Marvel's Avengers cost $178 million. Grand Theft Auto 5 cost either $206 to $265 million. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, like, I'm talking Modern Warfare 2 back on the fucking PlayStation 3, cost $250 fucking million. Cyberpunk 2077 cost $316 million. Again, this isn't a PlayStation issue, right? They're just getting the limelight because their numbers came out recently. This is a industry fucking issue.
But we knew this. This is why I'm talking. This is not new information.
But it's still a topic to talk about.
It's new information because we didn't know how much Last of Us Horizon cost to make. I mean, we can assume, but we didn't know until those.
And
numbers
there's a
came
lot
out.
of games we don't know the budget for. Like, we don't know how much Starfield cost to make. For all we know, it costs comparable to that much because they've been working on it for so goddamn long. Because, like, the thing is, when you think of development costs, you got to remember the development costs are also pre-production because you've got to pay the staff, you've got to pay artists, you've got to pay all of this. Then you go into production where you've got to pay the programmers, you got to pay the electric bills, you got to pay rent, you got to pay for the engine, you got to pay for the people that code the engine. Like, so for example, like, we don't know how much a game like Starfield is going to cost, which for me is where all of this is going is, where the fuck are game budgets going right now?
To the actors and voice actors. You literally had now, like for example, like, I was shocked that Resident Evil 4, they hire one woman just to be the face of Ashley and do all the acting for Ashley, then hired another woman to be the voice actor of Ashley. Because when I heard the actual, like, face model actor of Ashley talk, I was like, there is no way in hell that's Ashley. Then I saw the voice actor for Ashley, and I was like, huh. Two completely different women.
Yeah, according to some sources, Starfield's budget has already exceeded 200 million.
I mean, you gotta think. You gotta think about it. Like, I mean, Horizon Zero Dawn. I mean, Last of Us Part 2, I know
That-
they definitely use actors.
Yeah.
They use a lot of actors.
Yeah.
Like,
I would
they're-
expect
they're-
these larger budgets with multiplayer games for sure.
Well,
I
well,
wouldn't.
yeah. I mean, these are if these single player games, they're grabbing a shit ton of actors and a shit ton of
Yeah.
different voice actors. Some of them are well known voice actors and well known actors at that. So like they can bargain for a lot more. They definitely can bargain more than what's her face from Bayonetta 3
It's
or
not just
Bayonetta series.
yeah, it's not just that though, because like a lot of some of the times, like a lot of these, because like when you for example, if you've got we'll use God of War for example because we have hard proof of this one. If you well, not entire hard proof, but actually there are some there are some games that they will hire an actor to be the voice, the mocap, but also not just do the mocap for the cutscenes, but also do the mocap for the combat. You can like charge that person a flat fee for their time. But then when you got something like God of War, as much as I respect Christopher Judge, yeah, he's doing the mocap for the cutscenes and he's doing the voice. He's not doing the combat mocap. I don't think he's doing the combat mocap. Maybe he is, but I'm just using it more as a plain example. Now you gotta hire another dude to do the combat mocap. Like you mentioned with Capcom, they got one person to do the mocap for Ashley and then Molo Face. Then they got another person to do the voice. Like this is something that isn't an unknown or rare practice in the fucking in the games industry.
And then think about all the languages they got added on too. So you know damn well they got multiple actors. They gotta hire for each and every voice that they are, every language they support.
And they've got to adhere to the basic price to the thingy price of the voice actors guild.
Yeah, we've seen it with Spider-Man. Yuri Lowenthal is the voice actor, but the character model is someone else.
What is now someone else? It was originally Yuri. If you look at Yuri to the original model of Spider-Man, that was him.
Yeah, why did they change that? I heard they had like some. I heard there was like some dispute going on, so they basically took him out of it.
It made him look more like Tom Holland, if you ask me.
That's what everybody else was saying.
Nah,
I don't know if that was a dispute. I think that was just to kind of have like more synergy between the movies and the game. Honestly,
he doesn't look like Tom Holland though.
He favors him. I didn't say he looks exactly like him, but to me, the new model definitely favors Tom Holland.
Yeah, it's so. I mean, like, you know, fuck it. I'm off for all this Alton debate for about 15 minutes. Like, where the fuck do we go with budgets? Like, how the hell do we quell budgets like this?
You don't need to hire. Do you not need to hire A-rank actors?
Does the budget need to be quelled, or do they just need to find a larger audience for their titles to make the budget worth it?
Not per se. No. Don't make the game suck. That's it.
See,
it's not about making the game suck. I mean, we got to think about it. Like the gaming industry, you know, they've said for the longest time it hasn't actually grown in a while, so they need to capture. So I think as these budgets grow,
the gaming industry going mainstream, it was killing the gaming industry.
That can't be what's killing the game, because going mainstream will make it more money. Yeah, so I mean, like,
why do you think 16 is simplified? It's easy. There is
so the game not being to your preference is one thing, but if more people are playing, it's not killing the industry. It's actually helping the industry.
No, it's not helping.
Like, just because you don't like the games because they make it easier for other people to adopt it doesn't mean that.
Who is 16 catered for? It's not for the hardcore. It's not for the softcore, because the softcore don't care about Final Fantasy, and the hardcore don't care about the action version of it. And they want.
I mean, Final Fantasy has never really been a hardcore type game, though.
That's what
I
I mean.
mean,
Like, I
honestly,
don't really, I don't like this revisionist history about like, oh, Final Fantasy is for like these hardcore gamers. It has never been for these. Like, what are we talking about here? You mean to tell me Mario was not mainstream? Who debuted way back in the 80s? Like,
Yeah, I mean,
I'm confused.
it's
Like, the
just
Oh, you
industry is
spitting-
bigger
you
than like your
spitting
specific
right now.
titles that you don't like. The fighting game
But, like-
industry is going through a fucking renaissance, dog. The best it has ever been.
One of
like
the-
so, like as opposed
I
to
have
like
an example. Kingdom Hearts. Go ahead.
What about Kingdom Hearts? I mean, people still enjoy that.
Let me get my point. Let me get my points out. One of the biggest contributing factors for me when it comes to like people making developers making video games is their incessant need to seemingly want to be on the cutting edge. Like The Last of Us Part 2
Yes.
wanted to be on the cutting edge, and that
What do you mean by
ballooned
that?
graphically, mocap wise, like all of this. Like, I'm guaranteeing you right now, Hellblade 2 is going to come out and we're going to find out that it had an enormously large budget. Because that
it definitely did because they had
because that game wants to be on the cutting edge of gaming technology as far as facial animation as well as like walking animation, basically.
there are gonna be things associated with that budget that don't actually get tied to the game because they had to build a whole new studio just for Ninja Theory,
But
and that may
also-
not actually be like
but
put
when
on.
But then when you look at a
Their
game
cost,
like
but-
Hi-Fi Rush, which I've been playing, that game is nowhere near the cutting edge, but it's still fun and it's out there and it made bank. So, and that's
a great game.
That's what a lot of these. It's a good game. I'm not close to great, but I might be getting there. Because I haven't completed it yet. Like that's the problem with a lot of these studios is like, yeah, you can have your big budget games for all I care, but like places like PlayStation are not, like, for example, PlayStation and CD Projekt Red as well. I'll throw them into the mix. They don't have any other small games to subsidize. Like there's no smaller games coming out from these studios to subsidize doing like big budgets. Like sometimes it's just pure greed. Like I guarantee, like EA is probably one of the few examples I can turn around and say that they're subsidizing with smaller games because of their indie program. Like, they are subsidizing with small games while they put out big games. It's just pure greed that they're putting, like, $70 games out there. Like, but the other thing that I know for a goddamn fact, because we've seen it time and time again, and I guarantee you we'll see it with we saw it with Cyberpunk. I guarantee you we'll see it with fucking Starfield. I guarantee we'll see it with a lot of other games. A lot of time is wasted on trial and error. Like, an obscene amount of money and time is wasted on trial and error. Like, it's fine to try something and fail, but the problem is that's what also balloons these projects to being like 6-year developments. Is they just keep, it's just a constant simple cycle of trial and error, trial and error, trial and error, trial and error, until they finally get something that works. Like there's nobody to turn around and say, okay, yeah, I think you've tried enough. You want to keep trying. Try it next time. But we need to get this working.
AI is about to cut down development time by at least probably a year or two. We're probably like 5 years away from that, though.
I'm about to say a year or two. I'm about to say like AI ain't that good. I mean, they can make Pac-Man. We can make Pong. We can make Snake. Can't make extremely heavy code like you think it can. It's still learning, and actually, people
it can do the environment. Like in a couple of years, it's going to be able to do like stuff like the environments and things like that.
I already can. Unreal Engine 5 can already do that. Well, not to the point where you just tell it what to do and it does it, but it pretty much does the environment and the mechanics and everything for you.
So like that to me is what's ballooning goddamn budgets. Now here's the thing. Trimble turned around and said actors don't cost that much. Here's the thing. What you're failing to take into consideration, my guy, is actors kind of do, because it depends on like what you're getting them to do. Like if they're a voice actor, you can pay them a certain amount, and there is an industry standard due to the Voice Actors Guild, and also It's not the yeah, because actually I believe I'm pretty sure when actors are asked to act out cutscenes for video games, I believe that also falls under the Actors Guild comp as well. So like so the time that you need them to do so if they're doing mocap and voice, your time with them extended, so their money that they get goes up, especially if they end up being someone like big, like for example Norman Reedus from Death Stranding, which honestly I want to actually look up how much Death Stranding costs, because like I can't in my head I don't think that costs that much.
Ooh,
Then
so
if you have if you have a 100-man dev team and they're all making 120K on average.
Dude, fucking
Keanu?
Hold on, Death Stranding costs fucking 70 million to make.
Yeah, I looked at Keanu Reeves for Cyberpunk 77. They had to pay Keanu Reeves 30 million. Jesus. And how much was Cyberpunk's budget?
Expensive.
300 million.
Oh damn!
Because I mean, they expect Cyberpunk to pretty much be like a 10-year game. So,
which honestly, it's I'm not saying it's going to be close to, but I think it's outlasted what everybody thought it did. Considering not only did they update it, get a goddamn TV show out of it, completely redo the fucking game in preparation for the goddamn expansion to come out.
And I think Cyberpunk is going to get another TV show. I think it's going to get another season.
No, Edge Runner is not getting another season. No, they might get another show, but not a season.
Yeah, they said that they like the idea of exploring the Cyberpunk universe, but not using the same characters. They want to tell.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Not using the same characters, but it would just be like another season of Cyberpunk. It doesn't have to necessarily have like edge runners.
But yeah, but there's my point. Like Keanu Reeves costs 30 million. It would not surprise me. I know Norman Reedus. I know Norman Reedus is a humble person. Then again, so is Keanu Reeves. But at that point, you're not dealing with Keanu Reeves. You're dealing with Keanu Reeves' agent. And again, Keanu Reeves was doing, I believe, Keanu Reeves was doing all of his own mocap throughout that entire thing as well. He did the voice and the mocap. With Cyberpunk, Norman Reedus is a household name, but he's not as big as Keanu Reeves. But it would not surprise me if 10 million of that budget went to Norman Reedus. And once again, This is kind of like, again, the checks and balances thing that's weird. If it really did have a budget, if Death Stranding had a budget of 70 million, they allocated their money really well, because they didn't just have fucking Norman Reedus there. They had Mads Mikkelsen, for fuck's sake. Like, they had some good actors there. And then again, to be fair, I think Guillermo del Toro just allowed his likeness to be in the game. But you're getting my point. Like, actors do cost a good bit of money.
Definitely not no AA money. They're all AAA price. Well, the lead actors, like especially these actors that played in a lot of different movies. Yeah, that's AAA money right there.
Yeah, I would say they have to find a way to grow console gaming if they want to keep these budgets.
Or just stop trying to be on the fucking cutting edge and accept where we're at currently. Like, if you don't need to be the first to try and do something. Like, the first isn't always the best.
I'm not gonna knock innovation.
I'm good, Yobi.
I mean, I do want some innovation. I mean, I get what you're saying.
But Sony's sitting basically at 120 million consoles for 3 generations now, like sitting around that number. I mean, that kind of has to grow at some point. Can't just stay there forever.
Damn, they're not revealing Idris's contract. I wonder how much Idris is getting paid for being in the new Cyberpunk DLC. They haven't
Idris Elba?
Yet. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how much they're charging, how much he's making from the Cyberpunk DLC.
I hate to,
but they haven't revealed.
Guarantee you, it's probably half of what Keanu was given. This is purely from a recognition standpoint. Yes, Idris Elba is a household name, but he is not. The thing, you kind of got to look at it from the standpoint of when Keanu Reeves was asked to do this. Like, this was right in the middle of his big fucking resurgence with the John Wick movies.
I would say Idris Elba is bigger on Hollywood than Keanu is at the current moment.
What has Idris Elba got working right now?
What does he have working right now? I'd have to look. I'm not big into what's coming out lately. Let's see. Idris Elba. Says
Yeah, I don't see who his price is because he's the only celebrity I know of that's currently like in a video game.
Which, if anything, good
oh.
fucking get, because Idris Elba is a fucking charisma. Like, that man is walking charisma.
His last movie was Extraction.
Oh yeah, he's in Extraction too. Barely.
Oh, no.
Luther, Zootopia, Beast,
His-
Thor: Love and Thunder.
His
Sonic
net
the
worth is only
Hedgehog.
40 million?
There you go. So, what's Keanu Reeves' net worth?
Like 350 million.
There you go.
Yeah, but Keanu Reeves he's been in acting a lot longer.
And that's what I'm getting
Like-
at, though. And again, you've got to factor in when Keanu
I would
Reeves
say right
was
now,
announced.
Idris Elba will be the bigger actor as of like current day.
Really?
Damn,
Even after,
man.
dude, the
Yeah.
John Wick trilogy blew everybody away and broke records.
Yeah, but he's only doing John Wick. He's not doing a bunch of different movies. I'm not saying he's not great and fantastic. I'm just saying, like, as far as the Hollywood scene,
But
Idris
you've also,
Elba's
but
getting more movies.
yeah, here's the thing: more movies, but is it raking in as much money? That's what the industry comes down to. Because again, at the time, like
Well, but sometimes it's your
at the time he was called for this, like Keanu Reeves had the John Wick movies coming out. He had the Matrix 4. He had
That was trash.
I will agree. I'm not disagreeing.
Matrix 4 sucked.
He had
Yeah, it was trash.
he had Bill and Ted Face the Music. I will not hear you blaspheming that fucking movie. That movie was amazing, and I will not hear anything about it. Because it was. Like, at the time, Keanu Reeves had, let's just see, just for reference point. At the time, he had John Wick 1 out. He was in Knock Knock, Interrogations Gone Wrong, Exposed, Anyone Can Quantum, Keanu, The Whole Truth, The Neon Demon, The Bad Batch, Quantum is Calling, The Film Prayer, To the Bone, John Wick 2, Jerry Cantrell, The Job to Do, which was a lyric video, The Very Bad Day, Swedish Dicks, Siberia, Destination Wedding, Replicas, John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellum, Always Be My Maybe, which everybody just remembers the Keanu scene from that. Toy Story 4, Between Two Ferns, the SpongeBob movie, Sponge on the Run, Bill and Ted Face the Music, and then Cyberpunk came out. So, like, again, and then after that, he had The Matrix Awakened, which was the Unreal Engine experience, The Matrix Resurrections, Super Pets, Berserk Volume 2, and then John Wick Chapter 4. Again, like, you gotta look at, like, what was he working on at the time, and when he got that money, he was working on
Extraction, Luther. He's been a bunch of the MCU films.
bits,
Beast,
parts. Like, bit
Dark
parts.
Tower, Sonic the Hedgehog, Suicide Squad. I mean, he's been in NBA 2K20, Fast and Furious. He had a movie.
John Wick versus whatever else Idris Elba's in.
Yeah, Fast
Those
and
other
Furious.
Things.
Yeah,
God, he's in
yeah.
Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah, Hobbs and Shaw. Like, yeah.
even he forgets he was. Yeah, but he was in
Dark
The
Tower.
Wire a long time ago. Dark Tower was a fucking flop. That hurt his career.
Finding Dory. I mean, but I'm just saying he's been.
Yeah, I know,
The
but
Take,
again, but
he's
what I'm
been
saying is you've
Jungle
got to look
Book,
at
Zootopia.
the hits. You got to look at the hits and like how much of it was on his star power. Again, I'm not saying Idris Elba
Clancy,
is
Rainbow
not.
Six. He was in Siege.
Again, y'all are just not getting what I'm laying down here. What I'm saying is you've got to look not just at the prevalence, but also the money of them being the face. Idris Elba was never the face of the MCU. He was a bit player in it. He was never. He was, yes, he had a firm role in Sonic the Hedgehog 2 as Knuckles. He was fucking amazing in it. Absolutely, I have nothing but respect for this man. But he is not. He at the time and even now, unfortunately, and I say that unfortunately because it's the fucking truth, is not a lead man, so he doesn't get the lead man money.
I'm gonna tell
He
Cyberpunk
does.
they
He
need
does.
to pay
He
my
does do a lot
man.
of lead man roles.
Well, I get what Dante's saying, but I'm gonna say Cyberpunk because if his network's only 40 million, that means Cyberpunk probably only paid him like maybe 5 or 10 million.
Honestly, and
Maybe.
I've been one of the people that have abdicated. Listen, it might be against what people like. It might be against the character, but they fucked that up a long time ago. I want that man to play it. I want that man to be James Bond, for fuck's sake. He's got that much goddamn charisma.
Yeah, he's already said he ain't doing that.
Oh yeah, he said
Pay
he's
my
not.
man. Man, CG Project Res better pay my man. All I'm saying, if that DLC turns out to be monster, I hope he got points added on to his contract.
Or like, don't pay him. Listen,
we're
all respect
paying
to
him
Idris
an
Elba.
exposure.
He's gonna be fine.
We're gonna.
Idris Elba gonna be fine.
That's
like,
what they're doing.
I don't gotta worry about Idris Elba checks.
They're paying him an exposure, is what they're doing.
Yeah, and if that frees up other stuff, for maybe other people or better time spent doing something else, and like do that.
Like, I have nothing but respect for Idris Elba as not only just an actor, but as a person. And I want him to get paid more. But as it stands, like, he isn't the lead man now. Or he isn't the lead man. And unfortunately, the one time he had the chance to be the lead man, unfortunately, the movie just wasn't that good, and that was Dark Tower. And as somebody who has read the Stephen King books that movie is based on, like, it's unfortunate. He probably accepted because I'm not going to say he needs the work, but he probably wants to dip his toe into doing video game stuff. Because
he's already been in a couple video games.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not like it's not a precedent though.
I mean, a lot of actors have been doing trying to get into video game roles because they realize how much money there is in the video game market.
Yeah,
and plus with their big names, they can easily charge more than what average like random voice actors you can get from the street or low budget people, which kind of sucks for those people.
But again,
now they got to compete with top right celebrities, but at the same time, like they can undercut them even though they're already not making much.
But once again, to the point as a whole. Sorry, because this went on a tangent, but again, it's kind of proved the point that I was trying to make to Trimmel is that no, actors do cost a lot. Like, actors do cost quite a pretty penny from the budget. Sometimes small, sometimes big. Like Reeves is fucking 30 million. But like, this is one of those expenses they need to rein the fuck in, and they need to start looking at their budget, and because there's multiple faceted points to why budgets are getting ballooned. Like they're paying actors, they're doing so much trial and error that it's extending development time to ridiculous lengths, and then on top of that, it's also wanting to be on the cutting edge every single goddamn time. This is why, like, I'm very curious. Give me a second, because I really want to know something. Because, like, we turn around and say that this is a bad thing, but this is one of those cost-cutting measures that could help, that a lot of people on this podcast themselves, Omar, have lambasted. And that's reusing assets. There's clearly assets like when we look at Spider-Man 1 to 2, we can clearly see there's some assets clearly being reused, but like maybe that's a cost-cutting measure.
I have no issue with you reusing assets as long as you add also new ones. That's it. But when your game is 80% you're reusing assets, then what's the point of a sequel then?
Yeah, I mean, apparently Marvel's Spider-Man only, I say only, but cost $100 million. And made
they get to reuse New York over and over again.
No, that was the first one.
That's not a negative.
That was the first one, by the way. That was the first one, is my point. So, I mean, if they reuse at least the map, maybe change some things around, Like you're knocking off a decent bit of money there, but then again, they'll
It-
probably spend it elsewhere.
They're not really changing much around. They do add more. They expand the city a little bit more each time, but a lot of stuff's the same. Like you see like a lot of the same art on the walls and stuff like that. But they do it like they add new neighborhoods and stuff.
Interesting. Not what I was looking for, but the lead voice actor for the Spideyverse 2, the movie, got paid far less than his co-stars despite being a lead role. I mean, that's a movie reference, but that sucks.
Yeah, that does.
It happens all the time, man. Like you gotta, you can be the leading role and not be the highest paid person.
Yeah,
it happens a lot.
I would say he's probably the least famous of that group of actors that they have.
Yeah,
it's
the fame and what you've worked on before, and like how high your billing was before as well. Like all of this goes into consideration. Like that's just how that's made. And that's one of the things that gets the goddamn that does this.
Claude Van Damme ain't getting 20 mil no more. I don't care how good Lionheart was.
Ain't that the goddamn truth?
But I mean, it might just be time for them to unfortunately, the way I view it is like companies gonna have to take the hit. Like the bottom is going to drop out at some point.
Well, I think we're seeing the gaming industry subsidize the cost of these games by being able to license the IPs out to media to create shows and movies.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. No.
That's what we're starting to see with Last of Us.
That's one.
The Witcher, Cyberpunk, Edge Runners.
So there's
Gears of War's getting a show.
If that's getting a show, I'll be shocked. But here's the.
No, it's already been announced. Netflix is doing a Gears of War show.
Who's the lead actor?
I don't know if it's going to be live action or not, but I do know they announced that they're doing Gears of War.
Better be Dave Bautista. Better fucking be him. Anyway,
they're doing Gears of War.
Here's the thing: they're only just doing this now because they realize there's crossover appeal, not necessarily to subsidize. They started subsidizing for these costs years ago. It's called DLC. It's called loot boxes. It's called
that's just another way.
Like they have Call of Duty is the biggest example. Like they make billions hand over fucking fist with the goddamn battle passes and shit with this, and the fuckers still have the audacity to charge you $70 fucking for the brand new game.
And they're working on doing a Call of Duty show or movie.
Dude, the movie has been in the works since fucking Modern Warfare 2.
They're looking for ways to monetize their IPs outside of just the video game.
Yes, I know, but what I'm saying is none of that has alleviated us on the gamer side because we're still getting fucked by these ridiculously high budgets with them always putting in microtransactions, loot boxes, and battle passes.
They're never.
I mean, for fuck's sake,
they're never.
Payday fucking free. Payday fucking free is gonna have a goddamn fucking battle pass.
They're never gonna alleviate us because the goal of the company is to make as much money as possible. It's not to alleviate the gamer.
Yeah, that's why I said they have to fail through their efforts because they're not doing this for us. Like, yes, there'll be probably some companies who want to keep it low and because we love the gamer, blah blah blah. Sure,
and that right there is why I agree with Omar when he turns around and says. Not necessarily going mainstream has caused most of this, but casuals are causing most of this by buying these season passes, by buying these battle passes, because they're the primary consumer of these.
And they're catering to them.
I mean, they're catering to the audience that pays, and I understand it's frustrating, but I never know what people want from that. Like, how big should the industry be? And then how do you regulate that in a quote unquote free market that you can only be so big?
Oh, I don't know. Ask Microsoft. They're getting away with it.
Yeah, like
Ideally, you want the gaming industry to be as big as it could possibly be. You want to be as big as the movie industry. It is bigger.
It's bigger than the movie industry. Yeah.
Wow.
In terms of total dollars, yes, it probably is bigger than the movie industry, but it doesn't capture as many eyes as the movie industry does. If it captured as many eyes as the movie industry does, we'd be having totally different conversations about, like 200 million will be nothing for a game. Because
we might, that's something I feel like we'd need to do a bit more research in to have a definitive answer, because like there are instances where it does seem like the video game industry does actually have more eyes than the movie industry.
There are more people that go to see movies every year than there are people that own a video game console.
And I think larger.
That
is not a direct comparison. Like
it is, because if you don't own a console, you don't have access to that game.
No, because you're talking about like the number of people a year that go see a movie to the people that own a console. Like that is not an apt comparison, because the apt comparison would be are the amounts of people that go and see movies in the theater, like multiple movies a year, are they equal to the amount of people that buy multiple games a year? Because when you go to a theater, you're not going to the theater to see one movie. You're not buying a console to play one game. You go to a theater to see multiple movies, and when you buy a console, you buy a console to play multiple games.
Average gamer only purchases 3 games a year.
That's average? Oh god.
Yeah. The average gamer only purchases 3 games a year. I guarantee you more people see more than 3 movies a year.
Easily. But again, the movies are easier to digest. Like,
yeah, they are.
They feature people who
way less.
know.
Way less.
Like
not entirely.
Not entirely. The Flash was $200 million.
Somehow, where the fuck did that budget go?
Yeah, Flash $200 million.
It just depends on the type of movie. Like horror movies are typically extremely cheap, versus like a sci-fi movie can be extremely expensive.
And then you've also got to look down at the budgeting of like how much. Obviously, the ticket sales, because like they don't get, because these studios don't get money from popcorn and drinks. What's the actual fucking
concessions?
Concessions. Thank you.
Yeah,
they don't get money from that. They only get like a cut of the profit from like ticket sales. And from what I see from here, in 2017, about 20, and again 2017 to take grain salt, 26 of Americans and Canadians never went to the movie theater. Those who do see, only 12% go to 12 or more times each year. 53 see up to 11 movies, and 11% go infrequent, about 1 movie a year. And that was in 2017. And then you look at everything that's gone on in the past couple of years with COVID, and then diminishing box office returns for a lot of these movies, like Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, like The Flash, like all of these, like these people you're speculating about are not going to see as many movies, because like they're not just the only failures. You had the Pixar movie that failed recently as well. There was a DreamWorks movie recently that failed as well. Like the only one that's seemingly going to succeed is going to be Mission Impossible. But now we got a question. Okay, so out of the people that went to go and see that, how many of those are going to go and see Dead Reckoning as well? Like right now, it's different numbers.
Yeah, well, and really, the eyes, I don't think should be the thing that's judged. It is just the knowledge of, right? Like seeing things varies depending on, because like sometimes theaters are too pricey and sometimes video games are too pricey. You don't want to pay for them. But like the MCU as a totality, only probably a tiny handful of video games come to that level of mind share and consumer penetration.
Which honestly, even that is on shaky grounds now, considering the returns that Quantum Mania got, that Doctor Strange got.
The MCU as a whole, this is 10 plus years not just one thing, because Guardians
Okay.
did great. Quantumania sucked. Guardians did great. We're talking 10 plus years of the MCU, which makes Robert Downey Jr. more of a household name than Shigeru Miyamoto.
That is true. I won't deny that. That one I
Yeah,
will
you know
not.
what I mean? So,
yeah.
and like no one, almost we can tell you. You walk down the street, no one can tell you who's the director for The Last of Us, who's the director for Halo, who's the director for God of War, who's
Is
the
it
director
fair
for
though
Mario.
because they work in the background? Because no
No,
one
these
talks
are
about
No,
very
it.
because we
famous
know who
people.
James Cameron is. We know who
Exactly.
Quentin Tarantino is.
We know who
know
Tarantino. We know Steven Spielberg. The industries just are a little bit different. We're seeing now we're getting rising stars of the gaming industry. Like now, some people now will know who Neil Druckmann is. Some people now do, like Shigeru Miyamoto was on Jimmy Fallon. You know what I mean? Like some people are now starting to know, but like, will Yoko Taro ever rise above anything more than that? Probably not. You know, Yoko Taro probably won't be more famous than Kevin Smith. And he's a pretty low tier director from a movie standpoint.
Killed his career with you, man.
Yeah, so you work on it. All directors are behind the scenes, but Hollywood is a sort of different beast than the video game industry. But they've commanded the attention of people for a very, very long time, and part of it's because movies are just older than video games.
So from what I've found, the average person buys 10 to 30 games a year, actually.
That's 3. That's insane. If it's 3, the industry would have, come all the way together.
I would actually. That 10 to 11 seems high. However,
hold on.
It does
the
not mean you're buying
generation.
full.
I mean, not every
$70
game
games.
is not every game is $60 to $70.
Exactly, because to be fair,
That is true.
if I bought Candy Crush, that counts.
Hold on, here we go. So how much does each generation spend on gaming in a lifetime? So Gen Z apparently monthly spends $80 on games. Yearly they spend $960. Millennials spend $86. Yearly $1,038. Gen Z spends 62. Yearly they spend 744. Boomers God damn it. Boomers spend $52 monthly on video games with a yearly of 624.
And majority of those sales are on mobile.
Yeah, I just don't know if this is sustainable anymore.
America's is easy to calculate exactly. Hold on, give me a sec. Let me see what the actual thing was as a result. So all home connections. I mean, if anybody else has got anything they want to say, fill in the dead air while I try and look up if this was mobile.
I mean, I agree with Pharaoh. Like that is, at least for me, like I don't think this is going to be necessarily sustainable. They're going to try and find ways to make it so. But what I hope is that we go back to a more middle ground place. There'll still be Naughty Dog and Rockstar to make the big giant games. But they're going to start seeing that if the next one, gamers will probably begin to get a little tired of like the same stuff that you've I'm not going to say handicapped. They clearly want to make this, but that Naughty Dog has to potentially make another Last of Us, quite frankly, is a detriment to that studio. They're one of the greatest studios out there. They can probably make an excellent game out of anything. And for the last, how many years now? It's been Last of Us.
Well, it's more than a detriment to Naughty Dog. It's a detriment to Sony, because eventually one game, it's a detriment to Xbox. It's a detriment to every publisher, because at some point you're gonna have a dud, and when you spend 6 years making a game and you sink 300 $200 million into it, and you don't get a return on investment, after that many years, eventually you got to start looking at like laying people off. Like, this is what we saw with Square Enix with Marvel's Avengers. They made a huge financial commitment to that game, and the game flopped, and as a result, they had to let go of all their Western studios.
No, apparently the survey I just pointed out was actually console gamers. Because they even bought up Game Pass. So yeah, so they're definitely spending. They're definitely if that is the money on like video games, because they specify clearly video games. That's over 1,000 a year. That's more than just free games.
Yeah, easily. But hell, the way it's going now, it might change. Now it might drop to like 3 games. One, because we might not just be getting anymore. If all games take 6 years to come out, like now we're just buying games per console generation.
Yeah, Game Pass is also going to change that in some regards.
Yeah,
like streaming these fucking subscription services.
I don't know. I kind of prefer to own Starfield than rent it.
Oh yeah, you're with me. You're with me there, but unfortunately, it's not that I'm giving up the fight against these fucking subscription services. I just know that between Jubei and Pharaoh, my voice is just going to get drowned out in that regard.
I mean, hey, you should see Netflix gaming for the mobile games, bruh. I ain't gonna lie, that shit's pretty impressive. You can play Shredder's Revenge on your mobile phone, and it runs very well. I was like, what the fuck? Why is this so good? And I'm like, nobody talks about this. And I was like, should I talk about it? Is there like a secret code to keep it shunned? Did I fuck it up? Did I reveal the thing I wasn't supposed to reveal?
Nah, if it's good, man, it's good.
It's
just
good.
what it is.
It's good.
Yeah, I was really shocked about Netflix.
Does anybody have anything else they wish to add? Because if not, I think we've exhausted this when it comes to the budgeting. All right, then let's get to the outros. Then wait a minute, did that? Oh no, that's just on my screen. All right, Jubei, give us your outro.
You guys can find me at Jubei X Sensei on gaming platforms, Jubei Sensei everywhere else. I need to get back into 16 so I can finish it, so I can finish my shit talking tour on that game. Stay safe,
Nice.
drink your water, and I will catch you all next week.
All right, Omar.
Yeah, I was him. I am trying to get the plot for 16 so I can just talk about it. And also cover it with my crew on Game Player every Saturday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And yeah, enjoying my new PC. But that's about it. Shout out to the crew and hit that like button.
Happy, we're slowly converting him. All right, give us your outro.
Yes.
No.
Give us your outro.
All right. You guys know where you can find me. You can find me on Twitter. Just type in Nappy Sensei. You also can find me here on YouTube. You type in Nappy Sensei. I recently did a controller review on the 8-bit Ultimate wire controller for the Xbox. I am about to release another video for BitBix One's budget controller that actually has gyro functions and a lot of cool features to it. And I'm also working on the Baton Zeus 2 controller, which is their new flagship controller since their software works, and getting mixed feelings about this controller. I like it, but then there's things I don't like. So yeah, that video should be up in probably like 3 weeks, and I got a couple of other controllers I still got to review. So yeah. Also, I'm playing Monster Hunter World, and I'm waiting for Remnant 2. When Remnant 2 comes out for a week of July, yeah, I'm gonna be on that.
All right, Farrell.
It's your boy Pharaoh. You can find me on Twitter at Pharaoh Bizarre and anywhere you like to watch streamers at the Land of Pharaoh.
All right, Zero.
Guys, as always, you can find me 0x386 pretty much everywhere. Catch me out here. If Dante's going after me, then I'll save the closing for there.
Yep. You can find me at Dante Crisis on Instagram and Twitter. The Dante Crisis on Facebook. Right now, because of Twitch, because I haven't been here to announce this, I have to do it now because of Twitch's inability to realize what is good for business, and their impeding and clearly masochistic tendency to want to self-destruct like fucking Voltorb. I am now streaming exclusively on YouTube. because they put a ban on simulcasting. So even though I'm not a partner or affiliate on Twitch, I cannot stream there and on YouTube at the same time. So go follow me on YouTube at Dante Crisis, because now everything is at Dante at now. So yeah, just look up Dante Crisis on YouTube or look below in the description. You'll find me doing a Let's Play of Umbrella Chronicles, or that just finished actually, I think. As well as, god damn it, as Umbrella Chronicles is not finished actually. So yes, I'm doing a Let's Play of Umbrella Chronicles as well as Warhammer 40,000 Bolt Gun. Currently doing a live stream, a chill live stream today on Tuesday, because it's early in the morning for me. I have to placate these fucking Americans. And another chill stream on Wednesday, which is now my members only chat streams. Dragon's Dogma on Thursdays, which despite his bitching, Nappy has yet to come and fucking watch. And
I've been busy, okay, man. It's summertime, okay? Summertime, everybody gotta go outside to the beaches and stuff, man. I will come on one of them.
Oh. And Code Vein on Fridays. That's one of the important things, but there's something more important. Zero, where can people find us?
Well, you can find us pretty much everywhere you like to follow all of your favorite podcasts, which I am sure that we are already all part of. YouTube, Google, Spotify. I was about to say LinkedIn. We're probably on LinkedIn. Look up, see if you can get a job from us. We're hiring all the time. But anywhere you listen to podcasts, we will be there. Vitamin G, give us a like, give us a comment, subscribe. Like, we love to hear from you guys. And quite frankly, the more we hear from you, the more we know that we're doing very well. So we appreciate you guys as always. So, thank you. As I always say, it's been some time. I actually forgot. You could literally be doing anything else, but you decided to listen to us, and so we will always appreciate you for that. I am glad to be back with the crew. Thank you, and see you next week.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, and remember to keep it gaming. Okay, we out of here. Peace.
I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone.
Vitamin J, what you need? Vitamin J, got what you need.
All alone.